Welcome back to the book club you didn't want to be a part of at all from the start. How's it going, sir?
It's going all right. It's been a time.
It's every time it's been a time. That's going to be every time.
That's what life is right now, until the chaos calms down.
Well, I brought all kinds of chaos into your life with this album we're doing today on
You did.
Fuck It, We'll Do It Live. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give a little intro because you get to do all the cool like background stuff. So I'm going to build this up.
Ooh.
So ladies and gentlemen, lady and gentleman, probably more so accurate. This is an album. This is probably the first one since we've done this. I know we're only on episode 8 overall, 2 of season 2, but this is the first one that we're doing that of an artist that Zach nor myself really actively listened to other than for this episode. And it is something that is definitely piled on to the crazy that is our life, especially with some of the tracks on it, but it is Attention Live by Miley Cyrus. Yeah, this is a thing that we're doing right now. Can't believe it.
Nope.
I actually, when we started this, I will be honest, I never thought, well, when we started this, it was like March of 2022.
Yes.
Taylor Hawkins had just died.
Yep.
And, this wasn't out yet, this album. So I guess you could say, oh, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought we'd be doing a Miley Cyrus album this early on in the pod. But it has been a couple of years and it came out that year that we started.
Right. It felt like a good spot for it, considering this was going to be the next album we were doing. And the only reason we didn't do that is because I dumped Bad Omens on you.
That's right. Which was a good choice. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
There is some element of, and I was thinking about this. I don't know how you feel about this, but I was glad we mixed in a Miley Cyrus album here. It's something different because there is a certain amount of, I'm sure on every music podcast, favoritism of let's talk about stuff we like.
Right.
And eventually it's like, yeah, but what about the shit we don't like? I shouldn't even say it that way, but you know.
We actually got props on our list from my buddy. I told him we were starting season 2 up, and he's like, "Yeah, if you have a minute, send me your episode list."
Oh,
and
yeah,
I already had it put in order, also.
Okay,
and he knows my musical taste.
Yeah,
and so I can only imagine what he thought the list looked like. He's like, "Oh, actually, that's a really good mix of everything."
Well, I'm sure, eventually when we get to stuff like Bob Marley and the Talking Heads, people are also going to be like,
yeah,
really? You two would listen? You know something about this? But yeah, Miley Cyrus. We're gonna dive into Miley Cyrus.
Attention.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna start. What's that? That's a sound a cow makes. No, right off the bat, I'm just going to say before you go into the background, Miley, if you're listening, we're going to tag you in this. Just like Bad Omens and just like any of the other ones we're going to do for the rest of, until we're like 89 years old doing this and one of us dies while doing it. That's what I foresee for my future, by the way.
It would have to be me because I know CPR.
So
I'm going to be the one dying.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Miley, if you hear this, you can straighten us out if you need about any of the shit we talk about on here because it might not be all right.
Right.
Or it might be very presumptuous. But so Miley Cyrus, give me some of your background, Zach. You're the research guy. So what do we got here?
All right. So I came across a few different things. One of them was a little contradicting. I came across a statement that this was her first live album.
Oh, it's not?
Well, when I did some more digging into other resources, Wikipedia stated this was her third live album, but I couldn't find any other live albums.
Okay.
So I don't know if they were taking into account like documentary stuff or things of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only is she a musician, she is also an actor.
Oh, yeah. So maybe you're talking like the Hannah Montana days.
Yep, the Hannah Montana days. If you take into account Murray Christmas, I don't know if that counts, if that's an album, if they have that on audio or not, or if it's just strictly
I wonder, so to springboard off of that, I wonder if you're right. First of all, I wonder if
I don't wonder if I'm right.
I wonder if maybe like kids albums, stuff like that, maybe there's one that's supposed to be like Hannah Montana live at the something imaginary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that automatically gets filed under live album in that arena. I mean, I don't know. I listened when I was a little kid. I was listening to Smash Mouth, and then I made a pretty hard right turn into Metallica shortly after that. So I didn't really grow up with the whole like kid artists. Like I don't know if you would call Britney Spears, like especially on topic for pop artists.
Right.
So I don't know if you'd call like back in the 2000s Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera or even what's her name, Jessica Simpson, or those like. I don't know if they were considered to be like artists like Hannah Montana, like kids, what I
don't
mean?
think
that sort
so. I get into that a little bit down in the notes a little further.
Sure.
Some of that, I believe she was labeled as a teen icon is what it was because of her status on the show. And then also going into music and then in her history, which I'll get into it a little bit later, there's a definitive split when she started to become, we'll say, her own creative director, right?
Okay.
And split from Hannah Montana and actually played into her albums, which I found really interesting. So
interesting.
Yeah. Miley Cyrus was born Destiny Hope Cyrus, November 23rd, 1992.
And that's 1992, huh? That's starting to get old.
Yeah.
That's not young anymore.
1992.
Sorry, Miley.
And it was then shorted to, so her nickname was Smiley, which was later shorted to Miley because she often smiled as an infant.
Okay, so nickname.
Yep. So her nickname was Smiley, and then it was shorted to Miley, which is where Miley Cyrus came from.
So Miley is technically also a nickname.
Yes.
Because her name is Destiny Hope, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
So
my achy breaky heart.
Yep, that's right. Because her father is Billy Ray Cyrus, and against the advice of his record company, Cyrus and his wife got married December 28th, 1993.
Oh.
Yeah, a year after her birth.
So they had her, and then his record company said, "You're not going to fucking marry your baby mama."
I guess. I don't know what that is. Like that, they wouldn't be able to get away with that shit now.
Who the fuck says that?
I don't know.
So you knocked up your girlfriend. So guess what, though? You can't live happily ever after. Fuck you. Get back on the road.
Right? Like, fucking get back in your office, you suit. Fuck off.
That line dancing ain't going to start itself.
Yeah. we stomp these boots right up your ass.
Yeah. We're going to make your achy breaky asshole hurt.
How's that for a pulse?
All right. 7 minutes in and we're off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm off the rails.
Didn't take long.
Yeah. Interesting. That is weird.
all of Miley's siblings are entertainers.
Okay. She has siblings?
She has siblings.
I guess.
One named Trace, who is a vocalist and guitarist for the electric pop band Metro Station.
I know who they are.
I don't.
Little loosely. I couldn't tell you a song. I know the name.
I don't even know that I've heard of them.
Okay.
No offense to anybody.
No offense, Metro Station.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe offense. Go ahead, tag us. Come fight us. I don't give a shit.
You're gonna get us canceled.
It would only help.
Noah is an actress along with Brayson and models, sings, and is a songwriter. Brandy was formerly a musician for the indie rock band Frank plus Daryl.
How many fucking kids is his family?
Is a DJ now, or is a professional DJ.
Okay.
And their family house is located on 500 acres outside of Nashville.
Who doesn't have that? Am I right?
Right.
My measly 2 acres. She has 2 acres of bathrooms, probably.
So, fun fact. I mean, we all know that she started out as Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she auditioned for the best friend role.
Oh, really? Not the lead.
Not the lead. She auditioned for the best friend role, and she got the call back to audition for the lead role, and she didn't get it at first, but out of all of the options, she did because of how she performed and sang at the same time, and she kind of was a little more goofy than the rest of the people who, from the way I interpreted it, may have been like more uptight and or not as comfortable in that spot.
Okay. So she was way more of a personality.
Oh, yeah. From the get-go. It sounds like from the get-go.
So maybe that's how she always has been.
Right.
When we get in the
Some of
second
this
half
started
of
to
the
make
show,
sense
yeah,
real quick. I was like, okay, yep, I get it now. I get it now.
It's a psychology thing.
Yeah. So, March 2006, to the largest audience for a Disney Channel program ever, it was quickly ranked the highest rated series on basic cable.
Wow, Hannah Montana,
Hannah
way to the
Montana.
top. Who would have thunk it? It was 06.
It was 06.
I was a junior in high school.
I'd been 2 years graduated.
Whew. So needless to say, not our demographic. We weren't looking for watching Hannah Montana or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
So she paused for dramatic effect.
Yes.
So with the success, that's when she was labeled a teen icon.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And then she started to tour. She toured with some notable, what seemed to be notable artists.
As Hannah Montana. Okay.
And during her first tour, she performed shows that were performed on the show on the Disney Channel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Like live streamed onto Disney Channel? You think that was what it was? Like
No, it wasn't live streamed. She performed them live, but they were the songs from the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I thought it was like she's on tour and they're streaming this shit on the Disney Channel as early as the early 2000s.
Oh,
and I'm like, damn.
No. That would have been what they
That
would have been
revolutionary.
way ahead of their time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Nickelodeon's been
I mean,
kind of revolutionary and kind of also controversial lately.
did you know Nickelodeon was the first kids cable channel?
Yeah. I knew that. That's the happy
no
side
idea.
of this shit.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, it's weird. This was on the Disney
This
Channel.
was on Disney
yeah,
Channel.
you're right.
Yep.
Not Nickelodeon.
We're not going to get there.
I'm a moron.
Nah. So she performed those songs on that first tour, and it went on to sell over 3 million copies worldwide. That first album.
Nice. Okay. Making bank. I'm going to just narrate my way through it.
Right?
Okay. Stacking papers. All right. So we're getting there.
So then eventually she went on to sign a 4-album deal with Hollywood Records.
Okay.
Same record company that Breaking Benjamin's on. Or
no shit.
Yep. Early on. I don't know if they're still on it, but
collaboration maybe.
She secretly writes their songs.
Fucking imagine that.
Right. So this was to distribute her original music.
Okay.
Right. Things that were not going to be labeled as Hannah Montana.
Oh.
So she released a 2-disc album then. Hannah Montana 2, Meet Miley Cyrus.
Oh, shit.
That's where the split hat, that's where.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And if you take a look at the track record, pun intended, of her albums.
Hi, I'm a virgin.
Those first couple albums after she split from Hannah Montana still seemed heavily laced with what she was doing with Disney, right?
Okay.
And still it seemed to have some of that influence still.
Yeah. Like she's Miley Cyrus now, but it's still teeny bopper.
Yeah.
I know again, everyone probably hates that word, but it's teeny bopper music.
But then also she was labeled as a teen icon, so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't that be eventually something you get away from? But
that's your meal ticket, right? That's what it is.
Don't bite the hand that feeds.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
So
let's keep this going.
Well, the second disc served as her debut studio album. The album became her second to reach the top of the Billboard 200.
Okay.
Right. Sold over 3 million copies. And months after the release of See You Again was released, the lead single for the album. The song was a commercial success and has sold over 2 million copies in the U.S. since its release. And then she collaborated with her father on the single Ready, Set, Don't Go.
I don't know any of this shit.
And then
not even the history, just these songs.
Right.
Either.
I don't know these songs specifically either, unless they were on this album.
Yeah.
And so then shortly thereafter, she embarked on her Best of Both Worlds tour again, the split of Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus.
I will say this, with some of this info you dug up, and I was looking at earlier today, even just in general, and I don't like to generalize too much, but when you think of like selling millions of albums, you would think that no matter what people are into, they would at least remember a song by you from that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes me feel like I live under a fucking rock because I'm like, it doesn't matter that I don't listen to Miley Cyrus on a regular basis. What matters is this girl sold a fuck ton of albums.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a single song from those days. I don't remember a single fucking thing about anything before she strapped on some hot pants and twerked up and down on Robin Thicke. You know what I mean? And that says a lot about American culture, I think.
Yeah.
You can keep going, but I just had to throw that in there because that's an impressive amount of album sales.
Well, get that. Yeah. So not only that, but the tour itself, Ticketmaster was quoted as, or some officials were quoted as saying there hadn't been a demand for this level of intensity in terms of ticket sales since the Beatles or Elvis.
And that's amazing for that time.
Yeah.
That's Taylor Swift now, basically. Like Taylor Swift wasn't that big back then either.
Right.
She was around. She wasn't her.
She wasn't doing this.
But that's like me. That's like to today's standards, what Taylor Swift is today. Me going, I don't even know what fuck she sings. Like, I know what she sings. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel so sheepish about that. Cause I'm like, I mean, Christ, that's a lot. That's a big claim. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And so with the next album, Breakout, which was released a year later, the album earned its highest first week sales of her career so far.
Okay.
I didn't see what date this article was written on, but became her third to top the Billboard 200, and then she later worked with John Travolta in Bolt.
Okay.
And co-wrote and sang "I Thought I Lost You" with John Travolta.
Again, I don't remember that.
It was an animated movie where they both, I think, voiced dogs.
Okay, so it was a kids.
It was a kids movie. Yeah,
like
right.
Okay, all right.
2008.
Okay,
so she's still in like she's now starting to step away from her Hannah Montana roots.
Yeah. She's starting to not be the like kid movie kind of thing. Well, I mean, I don't know. You can be a voice actor for a kid movie. It doesn't matter. Steve Carell's what's 50, late 50s, or like he does kids movies all the time. It's only creepy if you make it creepy, I guess.
Yeah. So in 2016, she released her 5th studio album, and she resumed working on her 6th.
Okay.
And what's relevant in the 2016 timeframe is that she then replaced Gwen Stefani on The Voice.
Oh yeah, reality show time now. Yeah, as a judge.
Correct.
Or The Voice, isn't that the one where they're on teams and shit?
Yeah. Well, so each judge or what would I say? Like a team cap? Yeah, coach.
Yeah, coach.
Yep. Coach. Voice coach, right?
That girl I played drums for around here in Wisconsin was on The Voice, and I forget what team she was on. Was it Adam Levine? Because he was on there, right?
Yeah, Adam Levine was on there.
I wonder if she was on there at the same time Miley Cyrus was being. Is that your best Adam? Is that all you got? Let me have it.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
So, right. So she also.
That's your best squirrel noise too.
Yeah, it is. Squirrel. So she was also in some other notable movies and shows like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know who she played in there, but it was a great movie and I did see it.
Okay.
Didn't recognize her one bit if it came across.
Is that an instance where she could have been an actor or a voice actor?
That would have been an actor.
Okay.
Unless
it's not animated or not animated, but it's not 3D.
There are CG characters in that, like Groot.
Yeah.
Right. I am Groot.
I again know these characters. Know that my niece liked it. I'm a fucking hermit. Like I don't know shit about certain things in pop culture that I should really seriously, honest to God, know about.
And then she was also in Black Mirror.
Okay. Yeah, I know Black Mirror, definitely.
I haven't seen that episode, but I did like that show.
I discovered that through a student of mine at a college I've taught at. Where
Black Mirror?
Yes, where the class I was teaching was a media class. It was media and culture, basically. So, everybody who hates college nowadays can definitely call it a snowflake class if you feel like, or say that they're getting a degree in quote basket weaving. But I would invite you to come check it out before you judge.
Start throwing stones.
Yeah, but at any rate, this individual used that show for their presentation and their paper that they had to do for the course, which was basically finding cultural concepts in yada yada. And so Black Mirror, he did that, and I had no idea. I've again heard of it, and I was like, but I don't know. I don't have much time to watch TV and this and that and the other thing.
Right.
So I learned about it from him, and that was actually really fascinating because he had the pretty long clips in his presentation from the show.
Oh, really?
And I was like, holy shit, I don't know. But I did, okay, so I didn't catch Miley Cyrus in that ever.
Right.
Maybe, I don't think he ever referenced that she was in it or not, but I do know the show. It's coming back to my world now a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like that was a darker Twilight Zone show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was eerie.
Yeah.
It was very eerie, to say the least.
Love it. So, whether it's her first or third, she released Tension live on April 1st, 2022.
Attention.
Attention.
Oh, Attention. Okay. I'm like, wait, is this one of those hidden live albums? Attention.
Attention.
Attention. Just what I ordered.
So, and it was primarily recorded during her concert as part of the Super Bowl Fest at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles.
The first chunk or the 6 songs that follow Party in the USA?
Actually, I think it's the 6 songs.
The 6 songs definitely is at the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
The thing that she's playing at, was it with Green Day, right?
Yep. It was with Green Day. That's Green Day was headlining.
Okay. I wasn't able to turn up anything about where it was recorded, or I knew it was LA.
Yeah.
That was it. The Super Bowl party is definitely what the fuck do I know through Fly on the Wall.
Okay.
That's Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. That's before.
That was unclear.
Yeah. That was recorded. I do know enough about that. That was recorded in the Super Bowl where it was the Rams versus Bengals. It was at the start of 2022. So for the 2021 season.
That one.
And they just didn't put those songs, at least on Spotify. That's my means of listening. They didn't put those on this album till well after it was out, because it ended at Party in the USA. And then 3 months later, all of a sudden it was bam, 6 more songs, one of which is one that's on the original album too. So part of it, yes, Super Bowl party. I don't know the bulk of it, where that was recorded though. Might have to research that a bit.
All right.
So
next, the list of films, right?
Oh, that she was in?
That
too?
she was in.
Holy shit.
Big Fish in 2003, Bolt in 2008, Hannah Montana the movie in 2009.
What?
The Last Song 2010, LOL in 2012, So Undercover in 2012, Miley Cyrus, Tongue Tied.
Oh no.
2014. There's another film that she was in that I didn't add to this list. The Night Before in 2015.
I remember that.
Very Murray Christmas in 2015. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in 2017. And Drive Away Dolls in 2024.
Did you ever see The Night Before with Seth Rogen and
I did.
Joseph Gordon? Okay, all right. Okay, you gotta stop calling me Miley Cyrus. What do you want me to call you? Hannah. I'm just fucking with you. I'm really drunk. That's what I remember her from that, and singing knockout version of Wrecking Ball.
Yes.
On fucking Christmas.
Oh
man.
You ready for this?
Yes. So now this is you sifting through the rubble.
Sifting through the wreckage after the wrecking ball?
Sure. Yeah. That's a pun intended, I think.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. I think I'm ready. Hold on. Wait a second. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So a lot of these have each one of these has 3 writers on it at least.
The original song, right? Obviously.
The original songs and the writers, and the covers and the writers.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, the covers,
right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the track list real quick, and I will share, or I'll go through my notes after the track list.
Sure.
Attention was previously unreleased. We Can't Stop and Where's My Mind was on Bangers. Where's My Mind? It was a Pixies cover.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Plastic Hearts is off of the album Plastic Hearts. Heart of Glass is a Blondie cover.
Yeah.
4x4 is off of Bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Bangers is off of Bangers.
What?
Do It is a Miley Cyrus and Dead Pets.
Okay.
23 was a non-album single in 2013. Never Be Me is off of Plastic Hearts.
Yeah.
Maybe is a Janis Joplin cover.
Yep.
7 Things is off of Breakout.
What?
Bang Bang and See You Again is off of Meet Miley Cyrus, and then Bang Bang is a Cher cover.
So this is interesting that you did it this way too, and I think this is good because this is like a pop singer thing. You know, with all these writers and all this stuff, and featured with.
You hear the same thing from like other other big names too.
Sure.
Right. What I found interesting about this one when I was going through it was that it's a Cher cover, but the writing credit is actually Sonny Bono.
Oh shit.
Yep. Like Cher's name is not on that.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Which one was it? Bang Bang or See You Again?
Bang Bang. See You Again was Miley's song.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I'm like, there's a couple that didn't stand out to me as much as the many others on this album.
That's part of why I did it this way was because I couldn't tell what was a cover and what wasn't. Yeah,
she was really more on that when I go.
Yep,
but yeah, go ahead.
So Jolene was a Dolly Parton cover.
Mm-hmm.
And High is off of Plastic Hearts.
Sure.
You, at the time of recording, was previously unreleased, but then later on Endless Summer Vacation.
Okay, yeah, an album that's now out.
As of 2023.
Yes.
Like a Prayer is a Madonna cover. Edge of Midnight, the Midnight Sky remix is on Plastic Hearts.
Yeah. You know that used to be
fuck just happened.
That's all right. We're all learning technology, mainly me. You know that, okay, so while I'm resetting my bearings here, I think that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Edge of Midnight is heavily influenced by Edge of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you caught on to that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I just like to feel smart every now and again.
I am smart. SMRT. The Climb was on Hannah Montana, the movie. Wrecking Ball and Nothing Compares to You was off of Bangers, and then a Sinead O'Connor cover, which is Nothing Compares to You. Party in the USA off of The Time of Our Lives in 2009. Why do you do this?
You're tapping a lot. He's tapping some ass.
Okay.
You got to drag.
Tip, tap, tip, tip, tip.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and then I had other notes there, but maybe that's fine.
Here.
So, because the encore, or maybe I've got the notes in the encore, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So now we get in
to Zach. Welcome to the Zach Salzman Show, where we're going to enjoy some analysis about some Miley Cyrus songs. I say, old chap, what do you think about the bangers?
Jesus.
Oh no. Zach might have to poop right now.
Not pooping.
Poop. No, so what Zach's gonna do now is he's basically gonna go through his belief system about what is good music and what isn't on this live album.
My belief system.
Well, I say, sir,
we'll sell you the seat, but you only need the edge.
We'll start. Well, golly gee willikers, we'll start by looking at what's the beginning of this Miley Cyrus. All right, you go ahead.
You ready to get into this?
Yeah, now I got to be
serious.
Fun.
This was fun to listen to. I had a good time, actually.
I like how after we give the history, now we're like, all right, let's fuck around now that we took it seriously for 5 minutes.
Yeah, now that that's out of the way, geez.
Thank God.
Yes. Let me paint you a picture here.
Yeah.
So I didn't have all my notes done this morning, and I got new tires on the truck.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Got new tires on the truck, so I had to wake my ass up on a day off and get out the door to be at the auto shop by 8:00. I walked my fat ass out to the coffee shop.
You're large.
And
you're not Miley Cyrus ass. And I think she would agree with that too.
She probably would.
Sorry, Miley. I didn't want to be mean.
I proceeded to buy a Marsala chai latte.
Ooh.
And bopped around to Miley Cyrus live in the cafe in McGuanago.
Proudly.
Yeah. It took the entire time to write all of the notes, and like some pausing, but not a whole lot.
Sure. Yeah.
It took like 3 hours.
I'll tell you my stories of listening to this. That's cool too. We should do that more often, like a lead up into when did you all listen to this? When did you find the time?
I wanted to take a picture so I could post it on the. Yeah, I'll do that.
We're gonna end up
right. We're gonna lose the whole episode.
So we're working on a card table right now that is new. My wonderful wife bought it, but I guarantee it's a card table. It's as sturdy as, and he's got a drink just waiting to destroy his keyboard that he brought us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was going to take a picture for the medias while I was at the coffee shop, but I neglected to do so because I was all into my note. I was into this thing. Some of these songs are really good.
I'm excited to hear this.
Right. Starts with Attention. I don't know that I would call it a song. It's definitely an interesting introduction to the album. It was not performed live with the rest of the songs.
Right. It's not on an album, right? It's just on this.
It's just on this.
Yeah.
And like in the few times listening to it, it was probably it's like one of those songs that I just had to choke down.
Sure.
It's like, all right, we're doing this. All right.
You need answers.
Right.
And attention. You're like, give me answers.
Well played. Her dad, I wrote in the notes, her dad's Billy Ray Cyrus, but what I neglected to mention and comes into play a little bit later when she does the cover of Jolene, Dolly Parton is actually her godmother.
Oh, no shit. Is that the connection?
Yeah.
It's
Dolly,
not just she likes her singing.
Nope.
I just figured it was I idolize you, Dolly, and I want to sing your song.
Dolly Parton's actually her godmother, and they performed last year at the, I don't know where.
New Year's Rockin' Eve.
It was, that was it.
I knew that. Kind of. I mean, they were on all these commercials, and I kept hearing the song Jolene.
Yep.
The one from this album.
Both,
yeah. So, interesting.
Yep. So, song number 1, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Where's My Mind?
Oh, we can't stop? Can't stop, won't stop.
Well, that's the lyric.
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
So I think it's a great opener for the whole thing. Very similar to the way Bad Omens kind of kicked it off. It's like, fucking send it.
Sure. Okay.
Let's go, bro.
And I might ask you this throughout. Did you hear this song ever prior to this album?
No.
This one at all? You didn't hear this one at all?
I may have like tripped over at one point in time,
okay.
But nothing stuck out to me like, hey, I'd listen to this again.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? Where's My Mind? I thought that was a great choice for a cover, especially to kick the whole thing off with when it's almost I didn't do the maths, but excuse me. But it seemed to me like it was almost equal original and equal covers.
Yeah, I'll get to that in my part too, but I agree with you. I do think that that's probably a good assumption.
The last time Where's My Mind was relevant to me was when Papa Roach covered that song off of Love, Hate, Tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't tell what we listen to at all, right?
And when I was listening to this, it kind of perpetuated the thought, just like Bad Omens, like fucking send it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't start a set like, who's feeling sad and horny? Like nobody does that.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you're at a Fish concert. I don't know.
Sad and horny at a Fish concert? I think that's
probably
not, you took the wrong acid at a Fish concert. If all of a sudden you're like you're laying in your little fucking like 1-person tent, those ones you see at the campgrounds, like when I go fucking camping in Wyalusing, Wisconsin, like I see these little fucking 1-person tents and I'm like, okay, you either like the whole goal, that thing's got to stink after like 3 days. So people bring that to like Dave Matthews concerts and Fish concerts and they lay there and get all weird in their Snuggie and shit. Like
just lay there and get weird.
Okay, I'm just saying, if you're at a Fish concert and you're feeling horny and sad, I mean, I think I don't know, man. I think it has something to do with cranking your hog and tears as lubricant or something. I think there should be I think Fish should. Okay, then we'll get back on track. I think Fish should release a lube. No, I can't even fucking say it. Fish, I gotta spit it out. Fish should release a lube called Hippie Tears. Okay. Oh, I got it out.
At least you did.
It's like I was holding onto the toilet seat, like, oh, thank God. Okay.
Like what's his face in Dumb and Dumber?
So you think that Can't Stop, We Can't Stop / the cover? Why does that send it for you so much? What was it about it?
I mean, so it really, opening with the original that blended into the cover, which we'll talk about. She does very well with a few other songs too. Was a great way to kick off an entire set that had those songs, but then also had independent cover songs. Standing alone also.
Okay, gotcha. It was setting the precedent.
Yeah, it was setting the precedent, and it was upbeat and kind of like kicked it off with higher energy or like a good feeling energy.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Okay, yeah. I like it. Okay.
Track 2, Plastic Hearts.
I don't even... I just see
you take a glimpse.
I just see it. And on the count of 3,
wild guess.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, horns.
That's right. The song has this whole album has horns all over the damn place. I love it.
Horns are good. Okay.
Love me some horns.
Drugs are bad. Okay. Horns are good. Okay.
I was going a different direction.
Are you still sad and horny at this point? Like when they
at this point, yeah.
Yep. Zach hasn't laughed like this in months.
It's been
so
a hot minute.
When we finished season 1 and we go on an unforeseeable hiatus for whatever reason, Zach's been in Zach's been in a pretty heavy depression. No, Zach went into like ultra sleep like in the movie Interstellar until like now.
Yep.
Then you heard these horns.
Yeah, the horns woke me up.
Okay.
Right? This might be my Plastic Hearts might be my favorite song. And if I do have to say, I believe I listened to Plastic Hearts when it was released. The album itself.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably, aside from this live album, the only Miley album I've listened to previous to this.
Okay. Like, so you actually did? Yeah. What was the intent? When did that one come out?
That one came out in 2020, I think.
What prompted you to listen to it?
It's funny you ask that. I'm going to jump all the way down to trying not to do too much clicking here.
Yeah, you just push and scroll. Yeah, there you go. He's tapping ass and he's tapping.
I don't know
what's
worse, the fact that you're saying that there's not a woman present, or
yeah. He's my iPad gets very angry when my iPad's like an impatient teenager nowadays. Like I feel like the old person now, and my iPad is like, Jesus Christ, you keep clicking so fast.
It was one of the songs on the Encore, is what it was.
You had them listed.
I did have them listed. I just don't know which.
It's right there. That's where it starts. What the fuck do I know? Nothing breaks like a heart. That's the one.
Yeah. That's the one. That's off of Plastic Hearts.
So that kind of triggered you to listen to Plastic Hearts, is what you were saying?
It was because during that time, it was. So we bounced into Miley's image at the time and some of the things she was doing and how she broke away from Hannah Montana to I mean, they are one and the same, but a different direction here.
Sure.
She was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live in 2020.
Oh.
And like that's like it was her and I think one guitar.
Yeah.
And her performance on that, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, oh, you're right. She did kind of take another turn. Like, you know how we always think like the turn that Miley took was, again, the twerking. I just keep that is when We Can't Stop came out. That's why I was asking, have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Because that was part of the, I guess you would say, the medley, because she hosted it was the VMAs, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was
that happened on.
Yep.
And she came out, sang that song. That was new. It would have been 2013-ish, probably something like that. That song was new. We Can't Stop, and the album Bangers. That was when it was. That was new. And she did that shit. It was like a fucking like acid trip on stage, basically. There was a giant koala bear or teddy bear or some shit walking around. Robin Thicke was in his finest duds to get stroked up on by her wearing hot pants. You know what I mean? And we were all like, what the fuck?
What is happening?
And she had that hairdo, remember? It was like these little Mickey Mouse knots on her head. Yeah.
There were pictures of that. that in the research I did.
There's memes galore
Oh,
of that. So that instance though, that's where I heard that song the first time, and that the song stuck out because it kind of, you're right, like she opened with that too, right? So anyways, yeah, that was what we always think of when in terms of like, oh, Miley breaking away from Hannah. But you're right. Then she came back out, you're right, in 2020. And it was like, there was something about her that was all of a sudden like, holy shit, she's taking this shit serious. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
She actually gives a shit. You know, it's
and
not
she's
just
got
pop.
a great voice.
Yeah.
You know, and that was part of the draw for it too. If I remember correctly, I'll have to look it up and watch it again because the performance on SNL was so good that when that album came out, I was searching for that song after I had seen it. I was like, what is it? Like, this is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so some of those songs kind of harken back to her country roots, especially the way it was performed on SNL, which is where all that came from, right? So
gotcha.
Plastic Hearts.
That's why you listen.
Yep. Yeah. Plastic Hearts might be my favorite song on this live album.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna earmark that.
Yep.
I'm gonna earmark that.
It was well written and well put together, in my opinion, and the little lead hints on the guitar in the verses were well placed, and the solo was phenomenal too.
Lead hints. Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the harmony, guitar harmonies in the verses.
This is always good because you have notes I don't have, right, on these stuff, and I have notes you don't have.
Yep.
I don't have in my notes, but now that you bring that up, I don't. The leads didn't stand out. I know I'm a drummer. I don't always listen to guitar.
Sure.
But I like melody. Obviously, I like music. So, duh, you know, I'm always. But the horns are so powerful in that song. Now that you marked the horns, that I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, that might be why I don't remember the leads, because the horns were so intense and they were so good, in my opinion, too. That but you're right. I do remember now the leads and the solo for the most part.
Yep. So the next song was Heart of Glass.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at this point, I'm all sold on the covers. You know, the ones she picked for the album, and in the order and the way she did it between the blending and the standalone versions. I have written here in my notes, fun for the whole family. You know,
I guess. Yeah, you can't, you know. Yeah.
Some of these songs, like, you know, damn it.
That's all right.
In the case of the Dolly Parton cover, Jolene, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, some of her own songs are timeless in a way, because like Heart of Glass, the cover of Heart of Glass is also timeless.
Yeah, yeah.
And she kicks the covers off. Well, not kicks the covers off, but she does them so well and justice and true to.
What, is she too warm at night kicking the covers off? Is that what you do when you're like, damn, you wake up like pooling with sweat? Yeah, she was waking up sweating listening to Heart of Glass. I gotta sing this.
So
in her hippie tent at the Fish concert. Okay, so maybe it's not hippie tears, maybe it's Miley sweat.
Woof.
All right, anyway.
You know, and then there's certain songs in here that have like nonsensical lyrics or
yeah.
And this is one of them that I thought stuck out really.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
you mean nonsense like what is that in jazz, what it's called? Scat? Like that sort of thing?
No, not like scat, but like what did we call them when we were writing?
Ooh. Oh, not phonetic.
No, it wasn't phonetic.
Oh shit, that's right on the tip
the
of
word.
my
That's the word I'm looking
tongue.
for, but I can't remember that word.
Non-lexical.
Non-lexical.
Yeah, non-lex. That's what that's what TJ used to call it. Non-lex.
Yep. Like na 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 na. Yeah. Yeah. And so
scat always comes to my mind though. It also fun fact, it also means shit.
This is true. This is true.
Anyways.
4x4.
Yeah.
With the bongo intro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really. I really think the intros and the lead-ins to these songs, and maybe that's why the album was so long also. Maybe it wasn't just like me pausing to take notes because I was trying to write them as I was going. But, you know, maybe that was part of it too.
Yeah.
There was, you know, for some songs, there's a decent amount of talking in between too, which I thought was great.
Oh, yeah. I have a big idea on that later.
Yep.
Yeah.
So bongo intros. And the repetition I really liked. I'm not a big fan of repetition. I by no means am a lover of prog rock either, where nothing repeats.
Oh yeah,
but
sure.
But sometimes repetition just drives me bananas.
That even mix is what you're looking for.
Yeah. This song really did it well, in my opinion, because it was it was groovy, and it was more of like a chant, like, this is what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it had class.
So, like,
is that what you're kind of getting at?
Yeah, and like the backup singers were doing it with, like, while she was taking the lead for the vocals.
Sure, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Some of the lyrics in the entire album are great, but I think the way I heard it was dropping so
I'm about to piss on myself.
Yeah.
Is it dropping so hard?
Dropping so hard, I'm about to piss on myself.
Because she's riding in a 4x4.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Later on that you saw me write down before we started this pod.
Right.
But she's dropping so hard, she's gonna piss on herself.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And this might be my second favorite song. Like, the album really, this whole set started off strong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then there was some acoustic guitar leads in the verses that were really prominent, that stuck out to me, that I really liked. And more fucking horns.
We got to try it.
We're horn people now, Charlie.
What about, on the count of 3, a nice guttural. I just saw Stained last week, and he still got it. So if I go 1, 2, 3, horns. Yeah. No, this did have horns in it, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. Okay,
most of the songs on this album had horns. It loved the shit out of that.
Fucking hell.
Next song, bangers.
Oh, fucking bangers. Miley, before he gives his analysis, and even well before I give mine, when Zach's done, we go to part 2. What the fuck is this song about? Matt Miley, if you're listening, we're gonna give you our analysis, but like, what the fuck is this song about? Like, I know we call songs bangers. Like, I get it. Like, oh, that's a banger. Is that truly what is it? Is that the G-rated version of what this is about?
I've got what word am I looking for? No, I don't.
Real quick though, in the notes, before you get to bangers, you had some more horns, and I got obscured by my Aaron Lewis's growl. You threw shit after that. I'm like, I was gonna be like, scat.
I did.
Okay, anyways, bangers.
The notes said more horns with like 5 exclamation points, and then afterward I said shit.
A good shit, not a scat shit.
Yeah.
Scat is like, there's scat on my pants. It's natural. No, that was you. Bangers. What is happening? I don't like, I get it, I guess. I don't get it, but I get it. I don't know. You sound like my wife. It's not funny, but I get it.
That's kind of how I feel. It's like, I think I understand the direction and or the idea behind it, and it may have just been something ridiculous thrown together. Like, what's that Blink song?
Oh, like Family Reunion, you mean? It's really naughty, but like, this isn't that.
With like the 8 words you can't say, or 7 words you can't say on TV.
Oh yeah, well yeah. It's like, or like Happy Holidays, you bastard. Those ones. I don't know the one you're talking. I think I remember the one you're talking about, but there was
piss cocksucker.
Yeah, that's Family Reunion. That's what it was called.
I have no idea what the song name was.
Yeah. No, you think it's like something.
I think it's something like that, where it's just ridiculous and thrown together, and like maybe it's like 2 minutes and that's a song.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I could see that for this song.
Yeah.
My as you say, my analysis of this is like, help, I need an adult. I don't know if I'm having a stroke or what's happening right now. Is this clickbait for the ears? Because I don't understand.
I need an adult.
Yep.
I'm an adult.
So the sample makes the song work, and the repetition also. And there's certain things I hear in this song. This isn't the only song either on a few originals. I am by no means saying that she has sampled and or copied or ripped anybody off. It's just things that I hear.
Yeah.
But in this song, I hear salt and pepper.
Yes.
Like, but it cuts off at a certain point, right?
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. It's one of those earworms. Like,
it's one of those Vanilla Ices where he sings the dings.
Yeah.
Remember he does. Oh, you don't. Okay, so there was back in the day the like 20 most controversial moments in music on
Yeah.
VH1.
Yes.
Back when VH1 like literally was music, just like MTV. There was this show I used to like to watch that was like the most controversial music videos, the most controversial moments in history, music history, whatever.
Okay.
They called that segment Vanilla Sings the Dings because when they interviewed him about it, he was like he's like, no, mine goes like dun 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 dun. And Queens goes dun 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 dun. Like he was dinging, you know, like non-Lex.
I
there
get
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wow. That just threw me off because you're right. Like there is that
Because it cuts off at a certain point because without that,
ow, fucking bangers.
yeah, because without that, no, like you don't, it doesn't.
Okay,
but I've heard the song enough where I was like, that's the same thing.
This is why we need. It can be a bad viral, but we need to go so we can get these answers from somebody that's like, hey, take this shit off of YouTube. And also, no, she didn't rip off.
Well, right. Like, again, I'm not saying that she did.
No, but yeah. No, it was Salt and Pepper, you said.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, that's right. They did push it real good.
Yeah, it was
okay.
good.
Yeah.
So
I hear it now. I can't unhear that.
I know. Not typically a fan of repetition again, but this has it, and I get what the song. I feel maybe I understand what the song is trying to do, but also, what the fuck?
Need an adult.
My last note on this is like it's out there compared to the rest of the songs.
Where's my water wings?
But also, it's a segue into the next portion of the set list or her live show at the time. Because this goes right into Do It, which is a short, interesting interlude.
Yeah.
It wasn't real long. Short with a message. And then I was going to look up what the lyrics are.
I smoke pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into peace.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't give a fuck. I ain't no
something. Yeah. And that was kind of it for the lyrical content on that. And I was like, all right.
Right.
That's cool. Like you could hear the crowd singing with her in the background too.
Yeah, like it must be a thing.
Yeah.
Well, you found it. Yeah, it was on an album, right? Or something. It was something.
It was. 23. After listening to this one a few times, it brought to mind the butterfly meme. You know which one I'm talking about?
No,
it's an image of the guy, and he goes,
"Is
this trap music?
Is this more than you bargained for?"
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's
Where
right.
Is your boy? Anyway, this is definitely a hype song, in my opinion. Maybe I'm way off my fucking rocker, but this is just my takeaway.
What do you consider a hype song?
Like this, like.
Just like having
having a hype guy
stuck right in the middle of the set list to like get everyone jacked about.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my thoughts are on it, right? Like, rappers or groups have like a hype guy who like while the one guy is doing the lead thing, like the other one's like and doing all the other stuff.
There was a hype guy. I went to the NASCAR race in November, that like championship one, you know, and I don't really follow NASCAR, but I got to see all the drivers up front when they did their like entrance, their like walkout music and everything. There was a rapper. Well, first of all, DJ Diplo was performing at it, and Tiffany Haddish was on stage with him. And then there was a hype guy for NASCAR drivers,
right?
And you know, how much do I know? You know, like my dad and his brothers watched it when it was like the fucking like dangerous, when it was actually dangerous.
Right.
Now it's very, you know, entertainment based, but yeah, they even had a hype guy. So I was just curious musically. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I see what you mean.
So looking through the credits, I was wondering who was on there with her. I wasn't sure if it was a sample of another artist or who it was. I couldn't find out who it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was a rap part.
Yep.
You couldn't find that? Oh,
nope.
Okay.
I was unable to find that.
Interesting. You thought it was Lil Wayne, I see.
Yeah. It sounded similar, so I was like, maybe.
Or maybe Big Sean. Remember, bring it back to Fall Out Boy. Didn't he do, he did the rap part, and do you remember obviously Save Rock and Roll by Fall Out Boy? I made it in September. Fall Out Boy's Save Rock and Roll, right? The album.
Yep.
Did you remember the song The Mighty Fall?
No.
Okay. I
didn't listen to that album too much.
Yeah, that was kind of like a hype song in a way,
sure.
or I would consider it. And there's a rapper on it called Big Sean. He was at the time dating Ariana Grande. This is pre Pete Davidson becoming anything that anybody gave a shit about. And he sounds like Lil Wayne a little bit.
Oh, does he? So
I
maybe.
half wonder if that's a sample from.
Well, like with all the information I found, I was unable to identify who that was. But
okay, it's a mystery, folks.
it was a man, and I'm 90% sure it probably wasn't Miley Cyrus. So
you never know. She's a talented woman.
yeah, very talented. Again, great voice, great control, and I can't say enough about how awesome the combination of songs are, especially live. So,
oh yeah.
This song 23 is just painting a picture of her into club raising hell with her J's on her feet.
J's on my feet. Yeah.
And the lyrics are on point. I really enjoy the wordplay. I'm naughty by nature, like I'm hip hop hooray. That was genius.
Oh, yeah.
That was genius.
Yeah, this one had good lyrics.
It did. Yep. And so after that song was the first break in the set where she addressed the crowd and did some talking.
Yes.
And just like put out there. I thought the message was great. And
see what the fuck I'm doing.
Right. I really enjoyed that part too, because she was honest. She was doing her thing, and she's like, thanks for sticking with me. And, for those of you who showed up for Green Day, thanks for showing up early to see what the fuck I'm doing, was her words.
Yeah.
A lot of honesty and compassion behind it.
Yeah.
The message was clearly like, we're not alone. Thanks for sticking with me. And she then started to point out shirts that some of the fans were wearing that she could pick out how old she was on that person's shirt. I was 13 there. I was 16.
That's got to be interesting.
It's got to be
being
wild,
a child star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where
wild.
you're now an adult. And I'm talking like this recording, she was probably getting close to edging 30.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like you've been in show business your whole life, even before you were doing it, because your dad was in show. But like your dad was Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
That's got to be wild. That's got to be wild to be like, holy shit, look at how many years have gone by of my life and I'm only 30. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that sort of thing. Yeah. That's interesting. I got thoughts on that too, but yeah.
So the next song is Never Be Me. The first time that she played it live, right?
Yeah.
Because she stated in her break that was the first time that they have gotten together and played anything since COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's what that lead up was.
That's what the lead up was for. So the opening lines of this song reminded me a lot of her country roots and also like Johnny Cash. The lyrical content in the first two lines were very Johnny Cash-esque, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right. And I felt like they slowed it down at this point and kind of brought it down into a little bit more of a lull.
Yeah.
To get it amped back up again later.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember what the lines were specifically because I did not write them down this time. But if you go back and listen to the first line, which is repeated.
I do this every time I walk the line.
I walk the line.
Yeah,
and
I play with fire.
I play with fire. There it is. Yeah.
Yes.
I walk the line. I play with fire.
That's at the very least got to be somewhat of a callback to Johnny Cash.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ring of fire, walk the line.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, Miley, we're open. My phone is on. Mostly Zach.
She gonna call.
Zach lives alone and he'll be up. So
she's just gonna call me out of the blue.
Zach's address is
changing Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Surprise!
Supplies. So the next song is Maybe.
Okay.
It gave me a very oldies or blues feel with this song.
Yeah.
The guitars in this song remind me a lot of the Wallflowers. And then this is the part of the album where I start to feel nostalgic for the 90s because there's a few other callbacks and obviously probably in her choice of covers from this point on, along with some of the styles of the music that she has from this point on, get really heavy in 90s nostalgia in my opinion. Yeah. Right.
You know, this song, Maybe, how she's singing that is reminiscent of, and I didn't put this in my notes. It just occurred to me because you're bringing up the 90s with this one, and I didn't think about that originally. There's a live Melissa Etheridge album that I've listened to that I'll add to the list eventually for whatever
the sad
season.
One, right?
No, you're thinking Sarah McLachlan. She's got one too. I mean, I'll add that one. Don't get me wrong. We'll all hold hands and cry through that one.
Who's sad and horny?
Yeah, I'll be sad and just sad during that one. I'll be sad and suicidal by the end of that one. But no, Melissa Etheridge, she kind of extends a couple of her songs with the same vocal tone as Uh-oh.
Did we lose it?
Nope. We're good. We're good. Hold on, folks. I'm just going to do something quick.
I'm going to guess that we're good because we can still hear ourselves.
So, for those who are
uninformed,
there
we go.
I told my computer not to go to bed during this podcast, and it went slightly to bed. So, thank you for sticking with us. If you didn't hear that whole rambling of me talking about, there we go. Hey. No one even knows what the fuck we're doing right now. Anyways,
it's not important.
Zach, I'm going to tell you something real disgusting that I tell my wife all the time. Get ready. Every once in a while, I'll give my mouse a good jiggle, okay?
Oh, hey.
Now back to what I was saying, because you bring this up. So Melissa Etheridge was I'm the Only One, Come to My Window.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
There's a couple songs that on that album that she extends vocally in similar fashion to what Miley Cyrus is doing for this one, for Maybe.
Okay.
She's got this kind of like I don't know. I'll get around to thinking of the musical term for it, I guess, if you will. But yeah, Miley Cyrus does something very similar in this one to what Melissa Etheridge does in her live album as well. So you'll see it when we get to that album.
Okay.
But anyways, continue. I see it now. Now that you bring it up,
it.
I can see it. But
forgive me, I'm fucking with my.
It's all right. We're doing it live. Just because I've got a nice new microphone where I can say P and P and P and P and P doesn't mean we're still not doing it live.
No.
We do not fake our way through this shit.
I mean, I do still, but
I mean, yeah,
live.
like who listens to? We don't listen to Miley Cyrus.
Oh, damn. Excuse me.
Anyhow,
back
to the front.
Back to the front. Great control over her vocals, in my opinion. The whole album through and through. There wasn't a point where I was like put off by any of them. I mean, again, she's been doing this for 20 years now already.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or close to, very close to.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this song was the second break, and she again thanks the crowd and everyone in attendance and says, "This next song is for you." 7 Things is the next song.
Oh yeah, she says thanks for sticking with me all these years. Again, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
but in a different, like now I'm playing the 7 things I like the most about you for them. Got it.
So I think that's how it ends. Is like I think it starts out with 7 things I don't like about you. Maybe.
Possibly. I know it actually what you're thinking of. It ends with 7 things.
It ends with
I
7
like
things
the most
I like
that
the
you
most.
do.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But I think it's flip-flopped in the beginning. I didn't catch it until the end. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So again, 90s nostalgia IV straight to the jugular.
Really? You see that one as being 90s, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
How so?
Maybe it's because of like the approach of the lyrics and how kind of they felt very almost like Third Eye Blind to me.
Okay.
Or like Matchbox 20 to me.
Okay,
like,
I can see
towards
that.
the end, like, and then she starts ripping off like 7 things I like about you.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I'm just thinking of the chorus every day, that kind of build up part, and I'm like,
oh, I'm thinking of the other parts.
Okay.
Yeah, the chorus.
Got
it.
Yeah.
And so at first, until I did more research, I was like, is this a cover? I've never heard this, but enjoyed it.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. It's upbeat. Hell yeah. The turnaround at the end was one of my favorite parts because, again, I believe the beginning is starts with either 7 things I don't like about you or just.
I'd have to look that up because I know at some point she says that. I just don't know if that's how it starts per se. I mean, but you might be right. I don't remember exactly.
Because the lyrics make sense when I think of them regarding the chorus.
Yeah.
Like the thing I hate the most about you is you make me love you. Right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. Now.
And then
kind of goes to that
spins
that
back
snare drum
around,
fill.
Right.
You know,
and then spins back around. How about the 7 things I like most about you? And that's when she.
Oh yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yep. I see it now.
I am loosely informed on all of these things.
I am informed via Google.
Via the Goog.
The Goog.
Okay. So moving on from 7 things I like about you. or don't like, or however the hell that song goes.
I like the like. I want her to like us.
Yeah.
You're just rooting for the hero, you know?
Right? So the next one is a cover and an original. Bang, Bang, and See You Again.
Oh, yes.
I can't think of this song without thinking of Quentin Tarantino.
On Kill Bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kill Bill. And I mean, wonderful placement for that song.
Shut you
Especially
down,
in that movie.
bang, bang. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's something about old Western guitar tones that I find, or that I'm drawn to. And that song, the guitar in that song itself kind of embodies that a little bit for myself.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely, yeah, you're right. Well, Bang Bang definitely was like, I noticed, okay, for our listener, you got Wise Guys in parentheses. You are referring to the Wise Guys and Scallywags, right?
Yes.
Your band, your old band?
Yeah.
You thinking of Incendidor?
I am.
Okay, that's what, I can see that.
Yeah.
That popped in my head just seeing
so
that.
like,
yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna mention it or not, but like, listening back to it, it's like, yeah, I mean, that sounds like something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very reminiscent of that. Yeah.
And then with See You Again, this is another one of those songs where I hear another song in it. Right?
Yeah.
I wear my sunglasses at night. Right.
I this is the only part I'll leak for my part. My part of part 2 of this episode is yes, I agree. I thought this was like her like knockoff of using like sampling, as you would say, not knockoff, but sampling that tone, that song. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Instant. Out of all of them, that stuck out to me the most. Yeah.
The guitar leads and the slides during the verses, along with the backup singers, are, in my opinion, what make that song.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then the non-Lex vocals also.
The na-na-nas for the layman's term.
The na-na-nas.
Yeah. I got the Nas.
Where is Nas?
Na-na-na.
Oh, and then at the end of the song, I really enjoyed the piano at the end of the song.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the
sure.
Keys, right?
Give me your keys.
Give me your keys.
You're not driving home, mister.
Shit.
All right.
So the next song is another cover, Jolene. I thought well placed, also well done. But at this point, she's probably been doing that song for probably 20 years after learning that she's her godmother.
Godmother is
right?
Dolly Parton. I'm sure she taught you how to sing Jolene.
She probably learned how to sing it in her sleep.
Yeah. Has had it memorized for eons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she did the song complete justice, along with all the other covers. I think between her and her band, just really came together to make the songs memorable and continue to be timepieces without drawing attention away from the fact that somebody else was doing them.
Interesting. That's a good, yeah. So you're right there. Again, another thing that you have a good point on that I didn't personally write down. Even I have my own stances on the covers, but you're right. She doesn't really make this all about herself in these songs. And you can tell.
Yep.
Because there's so much accompaniment on stage during her songs, but especially the covers. You're kind of right. Yeah. It's yeah.
I think the most, and this is also what's kind of humbling about Miley Cyrus, is the most talking and or attention that she drew to herself during that entire time outside of her performing was saying thank you to the crowd and adoring the crowd for just being there.
Yeah. And kind of making them feel like good about themselves, basically. Yeah.
Don't fit in anybody's boxes.
Yes. I got a lot to say about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes everybody could use a good box, though.
Slide into a good box every now and then. Is that what you're getting at?
Slide into first? What? So they did a killer update to this timeless song, in my opinion. And we had already mentioned it, but in the notes, she's saying that at the New Year's party. Beginning of the year.
New Year's into 2023.
At the end of the song was another break to interact with the crowd. It's without even looking at the notes. This is that point where she had stated, be who you are and
slide into your own box.
And don't try to fit in anybody's boxes.
You're always trying to fit into other people's box when you could just fit into your own. Anybody that doesn't know the colloquium that we're referring to is gonna be like, why are they laughing so hard? I get it. Like,
Yeah. I enjoyed, she's very authentic, and was the point where she's like, I'd like to time travel into the future, but we're all evolving in front of ourselves, and
kind of time traveling in
yeah,
yourself.
right.
Fucking fish concert going
I
on in here
know.
again.
And she's like, dress however you want. I just decided to dress like somebody working out from
30-38. It was
Yeah,
like 30-30 cowboy gear or
yeah,
something like
30
that.
30,
Yeah, yeah.
30 workout gear with a cowboy hat.
That's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, man, Jolene. I'm begging you, please don't take my man.
So yeah, that was
A timeless classic, made even more timeless by Miley.
agreed.
Is the vibe I got from you.
Again, at the end of that one, she was talking about evolving in front of ourselves and all of that.
Right.
The next song is High, which also wasn't a very long song, but also well done.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was a very singer-songwriter
Yeah.
esque, probably because of the church choir feels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe, harkened back to her country roots again, to a certain degree. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Those like kind of, I would call it a ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next song is You. The vocals and lyrics paired with the piano reminds me of MCR, actually.
Interesting. This rendition of it, or like the live version of it?
The
or
live,
you mean like,
the live version, and then also we get to it in the encore. She does this song a second time.
oh yeah,
right?
well yeah, you're right. The Super Bowl party.
Yeah. So
Tracks, you mean, yeah.
So when I say it reminds me of MCR, like the lyrics contrast the way the song feels.
Okay.
Right. So it's mainly piano, and it feels light, and I'm not going to say upbeat because upbeat's not the right word for it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But the lyrical content is not of that.
Okay.
Right.
I think I can kind of, I mean, like, you're a bigger MCR fan than me, even though I like them. You know more musically about them, like structurally, probably. So I guess I see yeah, I'm going to listen to a lot of these again, probably after this episode, and just see if I can match the same things you were talking about, because you have a lot of good stuff here. So
yeah, this is a great song. I think, and it's one of those examples where, so there's certain sounds you make when you sing, right?
Mhm.
And it's partially with the importance of how you sing certain words is in terms of the lyrical content and how to make it flow, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If it's too contrasting, you're not going to do that,
Yeah.
right? Say like with an A, you might not have a hard A at the end of something because it's rigid, and
Oh, yeah. Sure.
and it may not flow as well.
Sure.
Instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
ah.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. And
Yeah.
so like in this song specifically, like at the end of the chorus, you, which, I mean, cool.
James Hetfield.
Yeah. But in my notes, I was like, it was one of those instances where it's like, that's, I mean, not specifically how you say the word, but
Sure.
also it reminded me of James Hetfield with, yeah. Ooh-ah, right.
You are. Yeah.
Not making fun at all. It was just, it's something that just kind of popped in there.
It's all in jest on this show. That's what everybody's got to remember. It's not always serious.
Yeah, if you're looking for a grain of salt, I threw it over my shoulder.
If you're looking for like educational background into
Go
these
elsewhere.
albums, yeah, go get the fuck out of here.
GTFO.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even sugarcoat this. You're not gonna find it with us. I promise you that. We go on some tangents. I was listening to the last episode we did, and I went on this tangent about art and lowercase a's. See? And sometimes these tangents have value to them, some merit. Other times it's just, oh, like I was born yesterday, sir.
Yuck.
Good yuck.
I think, yeah. Wolverine said it best. Let's fucking go. I cannot wait for that movie. So,
ooh, now we're on to the We're right towards the end. Here.
We're getting there. We're well on our way, right? So this was a great song. And going back to especially the lyrical content of this song, like going back to I Will Not Fit in Your Box.
Sure.
Another favorite.
Ma'am, please. There's no way I'm going to fit in that box. I'm just different.
Holy hell. So the next song is a cover, Like a Prayer, right?
Yeah.
Another case
it's
of
like a cover.
Like a Prayer is like a cover. Another case of a fun cover gone right?
Yeah, sure, I guess. The way you put that's a good way to put it. A fun cover gone right. A Madonna cover, no less.
Well, I mean, you hear. Oh, do I go there?
You're allowed to go wherever.
Like there's excuse me while I trip the fuck all over my words right now.
It's all good.
There's certain songs that you hear and it's like it sparks a memory.
Yeah.
A good example of this for me is when I was going through the Punk Goes Pop albums.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I discovered those.
Yeah.
All like they weren't coming out. Like I think they're done making them or they haven't come out with one in a long time.
Yeah. It's been a while.
But when I started to sift through what existed when I discovered them, I saw, I think it was Punk Goes 90s and Chiodos did Flagpole Sitta.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be bad.
And it was bad.
Well, it wasn't great.
Yeah. Well, that to me was weird because I get that Flagpole Sitta is a 90s song.
Yeah.
But when you have like a punk band playing a punk song from the 90s, it's like, well, that's not really, it's just a cover to me at that point, in that environment.
I feel like they could have done so much better.
Yeah, there's no to that one, there was no uniqueness to it to me. I was like, okay, so it's just somebody else singing the song that's by was the band Hot Action Cop? No. Who sang Flagpole Sitta?
That was Chiodos.
No, the original.
Shit.
No, I'm thinking Hot Action Cop sang, do you think that I could get some jiggy jiggy? And gets a little finger.
Jeez.
You remember that song?
No.
Really? That was a big one in like the early 2000s. Right at the end. And it was in American Pie or one of the American Pie movies.
Really?
Yeah. Something like that. But
that's one of those cases where I'm under a rock, I guess.
That band was called Hot Action Cop. And Weird. It was, I swear to God, Harvey Danger. Was it
Harvey Danger?
Harvey Danger?
It was Harvey Danger,
there you go.
yes.
Okay.
I was trying to think of it. And it
Get back in your box.
No. There was organs in the background of the song, and with the singers and the brass, it makes the whole song complete, in my opinion. The key switch for the instruments at the end in the break really helps build the tension throughout the song, I thought.
Okay.
I thought that was a cool thing to do. I don't know if it's there in the original. I don't, ride the Madonna bus, but
a lot of people have, my guy. Vanilla Ice included to bring it back to the dings. See, all this stuff comes together. The dangus. All this stuff comes back together in every episode. Like we don't leave any ropes untied. We don't leave any nooses unhung.
Hung.
Yeah.
So the next song is also a cover, but also not. It's The Edge of Midnight, the Midnight Sky remix, right?
Some kind of mixture of both.
Yeah. A mixture of both. Again, it's great. The Temple of the Horns is alive and well in this entire album. I call it the Temple of the Horns.
So you know what this one reminds? Let me think of this. So like Bangers and
Bangers.
What was the other fucking Bangers? That one was sounded like Salt and Pepper, but just like Vanilla Ice sings the dings, right? Yep. What was the other one that you were like this one? Oh, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah,
very close. This one was like she went past edging.
Oh yeah, she
and was well on the way to like.
She's
climax.
In the box.
Yeah,
she's in the box.
She's in the box on the way to climaxing. She was like, okay, we're gonna make this song basically, and then she did spring into it towards the end. I think the actual original.
She does throughout the song. Yeah, she does throughout the song. They're like that's the chorus through the song.
Through the whole song, it wasn't just
at the end.
Okay, then I must have just been paying it. I listened to it for the last time before this episode, like 3 hours before it, and I could have sworn it was just at the end for some reason. But
just like a white wing now.
Yeah. You sounded just like my friend Mike right there. He sings things all the time randomly, and you sounded exactly like him right there. It's weird.
Huh. You're welcome,
You
Mike.
still got to meet him.
Yeah.
All these years later.
Right? No shit. I thought it was a great rendition of we'll say a mashup, right? It's titled as a remix, but I thought it was great. You know, and a lot of these songs, aside from her stepping out and like addressing the audience and praising them for being there and like sticking with her for 20 years, regardless of who she is or what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right. It all, like, even the songs echo that message too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought The Climb was another 90s-esque ballad.
And that's because she was a child star still.
And
when she was singing that one.
Right.
Maybe.
I found that correlation after I did. So I took my notes and then I did more of the research after taking the notes.
Yeah.
And that's when I discovered like that was early on in her career, I think off the first album.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The guitar outro and solo in it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
So we're getting to the end here with Wrecking Ball and Nothing Compares to You.
Talk about a classic by Miley Cyrus. Wrecking Ball. Like, I mean, is that the one you think of when you think of her?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not. I mean, it does come to mind, but the first thing that comes to mind is Party in the USA.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a friend that like she's all about Miley.
Okay. Yeah.
Or especially like during that age, like that's all she was thinking.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's another reason too, but I'll get to that later.
Free Britney. I see you mix that in. Anyways,
did you catch that? Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But anyways,
so again, obligatory single spot here at like towards the end of the album, and I believe so this is the second to last song, so obviously it fit in this spot.
Yeah, right.
And the cover is okay. Great pairing with the two songs together, and then just another great example of how the mashup is still just one song.
Yeah.
But bled into each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I like it. It's weird though, I didn't write this in mind, but I do note eventually that Wrecking Ball it's a triumphant song, I guess, if you will, if you want to think of it that way. Yeah. And then the song she transitions to, the Sinead O'Connor cover, is like, that's not a triumphant. That's kind of like a mellow, like romance song. You're like mixing back and forth. Like this one is the only mashup that I was like, these songs work, but it's like they make no sense together. Like I've jammed with bands where I just did like, oh, hey, you want to come up on stage and play this song with us, right? And it's like some cover band where it's like, hey, play Tush by ZZ Top, and then all of a sudden like during the solo they're like quieting down and they're like, all right, do you know this song by Stevie Ray Vaughan? It's got the same exact chord progression, same exact everything, but it's Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan or something like that. And then they go back to ZZ Top that I was originally playing with them. That's what that kind of reminded me of a little bit.
Sure.
In that sense, just pointing out the cover nature there, but
yeah, for sure. I get it.
Yeah.
So in this example, actually, she went from Wrecking Ball to Nothing Compares to You, and I think back into Wrecking Ball.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. She ended with Wrecking Ball.
Right. And then moves to the last song, which I found out was Party in the USA.
Yeah.
Until like the encore songs, which I didn't realize until afterwards that those were recorded in an entirely separate event.
Long after she recorded this. Definitely.
Yep.
As far as I know, I mean, the order of things, unless she recorded, because it was Super Bowl of 2022, like I said, for those last 6 songs. And she could have very well recorded this album, put it out after that.
Sure.
And then added those songs in that were recorded live from the Super Bowl party after the fact. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be chronological, I guess.
No.
But it seemed like it was chronological in a way, but I don't know for sure.
And so in my notes, similar, like when you were saying, asking me what song I think of when somebody brings up Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I was like, who doesn't know this song? Right.
Yeah, I agree.
And then for being the encore, when she sees a sign in the crowd says Free Britney, she kind of goes on a thing there.
Yeah. Is that triggered by a sign in the crowd? I didn't hear that in her banter. I thought it was just because the lyrics are and the Britney song was on, and the Britney song was on.
Oh, maybe
and so
that's
she's
why.
like,
Maybe that's
she's
why.
like, the DJ plays my favorite tune and free Britney. She goes off on that tangent.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know. I guess if she could have seen a song, maybe somebody that was a pretty big thing at the time.
It was.
But I think it had to do with the lyrics, and the Britney song
that
was
makes
on,
sense.
and at the time it being
I
such
didn't
a big
catch
thing.
that.
Maybe, I don't know. I thought you actually heard something I didn't. Like
No.
her pointing to a sign and saying, "Oh, free Britney." Yeah, the Britney song was on, or something like that, I guess.
No, it was probably in the back of her mind, I would imagine, considering that being the lyric.
Sure.
And so one of my favorite musicians actually worked with part of this song.
Worked with or covered it?
Covered it.
Weird Al?
Well, he didn't cover it. He parodied it.
Well, yeah, but he did? What was his song?
Party in the CIA.
Oh. I think I remember it.
Yeah.
Very loosely, but I think I remember it. Does he have a live album?
He has a live DVD.
Okay. Maybe we might eventually expand.
We could change the media.
Possibly. Maybe once in a while. I didn't know he covered this. I mean, I could see it.
Yes.
It's such a cliche song. I could see it. Definitely.
And so, considering this closed the set, great placement, great track list, and I don't know. I don't think I'd change anything about it. I don't know enough of her other songs to go, well, I think this song should have been in there. Like,
sure.
I missed that opportunity last episode with Bad Omens.
Oh, you mean the would you change anything about it?
Yeah, there's a song I would add.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, because you are interested in that band. So you know their discography, you know their hits that you could have stood to hear, on a full length live album or something like that, but
Exit Wounds.
Yes. So
good. Anyway, so that concludes the entire set list that was played at that moment in time. And then the rest of the songs that were included were actually recorded at a different event. And that being the case, let's see.
Do you want to do those? So real quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you want me to run through my stuff and then we'll do the last six for that encore kind of extended play? Because I didn't actually note very much about that because I wasn't sure if you heard it or not.
Oh,
so
okay.
I listened to it. I had some general thoughts, but it might be good to do together because I didn't write as much as you for those. And I should have because I didn't realize you actually had it. I was just like, oh, like the original, maybe they didn't put it on all, maybe it's just on Spotify on mine, so I listened through it, but I should have wrote down more. There was like 2 songs I wrote the most about. The rest I was like, whatever. Might be wise to do that together just to get all the ideas.
Yeah. Let's go.
We're going to take a quick break and then I'm going to rip into this bad boy with my own thoughts on Fuck It.
We'll do it live. Is it?
Actually, you mean in Family Guy?
Yeah.
When he's going all, can you pass the Cool Whip?
Cool Whip? Yeah.
White? What do you call a whip? Say whip. Now say Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
No. Right.
You're eating hair pie. All right.
Oh, we're going. Holy shit.
Take me out of the box. Yeah, that's what I did it. I did it for because it's those good moments that really make us the medium bucks.
You got me.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You know how to get me.
You sandbagging son of a bitch.
All right. So Man, Attention Live by Miley Cyrus. I never thought I would see the day that I would listen to a Miley Cyrus album because I was a judgmental, closed-minded little
Gatekeeper.
fucking maybe not that, but in this case, just like any 19-year-old back when she was kind of making that original split that you pointed out from Hannah Montana to Miley Cyrus with I think The Climb was popular when I was probably like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, something like that. And I just was it was genre keeper, I guess, if you were. I'm like, nope,
Sure.
that's pop.
Sure.
This is rock. This is country. This can't cross over. That doesn't represent anything to me. If it's not this, if it's not that, then I don't want to play it or listen to it or whatever.
Tell
you know,
that
like
to
that.
Jay-Z and Lincoln Park.
Right, exactly. You know, while all the while I was listening to all kinds of eclectic shit, just not looking at it like that. Right?
Sure.
Miley has, just from the jump, I will say with my analysis of this, Miley has straight fucking proved me wrong.
Nice.
Because I could say right off the bat, I don't even have to wait till the end of my analysis. I can say right off the bat, I am definitely a fan of hers now, from listening to this, just from listening to this live album. And sometimes this goes back every time. Maybe I have to cram it down everyone's throat. But everyone being bands I want a live album from, I will say, cram it down those throats. This is why you create live albums, because the energy you capture in a live show, and especially when you're big enough that you're able to record a live album in quality fashion and capture all the things you would hope to capture that maybe a smaller band cannot do, you know what I mean, or whatever, that's self-funded or not on a record
I've
label.
got something on that.
Yeah, what's that?
While the production aspect is great,
yeah,
right? Especially in this circumstance, people who can do it and should do it, they should do it, right?
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
If you can't do it, find a means to. And what I mean by that, I remember a band that doesn't have a live album that I know is on your list of bands that should have a live album already.
Yes, on our Want episodes.
Yeah, on our Want episodes, right? I grew up when I got into that band listening to the bootleg versions. Like they had so many bootleg versions of live songs.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them being Ladybug.
Yeah, yep.
And
Breaking Benjamin, obviously.
Yes,
yeah.
And
just in case anybody's not aware,
if you're not informed or up to speed, and I favor the bootleg version over the recorded version because they are not the same.
Yeah, they're not. And I explain this on this pod and to people that kind of will say, oh, I hate live albums and I hate this and I hate my own certain friends and occasional family members have said, I don't like that because then you got the crowd noise and then they don't shut up and they're talking about stuff and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like you go to enough concerts and if you're a true concert fan and a concert aficionado, if you will, or whatever, and it's like, yeah, like bong. If you're a true fan of all that stuff, you know what I mean? It's like that. None of that shit should really bother you that bad.
No.
I think at some point you're just starting to sound, I'll just be judgmental here. You're starting to sound old and crotchety when you're like, just shut the fuck up and sing the song, monkey. It's like you're not you're not there for the experience anymore. You're there as like a means to an end. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's the viewpoint of life. It goes back to like what we were talking about last week with capital A in art or a lowercase a in art, where it's like, is it got to be categorized? Is it got to be, no, they make music and it's supposed to sound like this and it starts at this time and ends at that time and it's over? Or is it like, no, you're capturing art moment. In the moment. You know what I mean? With a live album. For Miley, I've got a right here. That's a clap. That's not, something weird.
The clap is also something weird.
Yeah, the clap is very weird. Not that I would know.
I wouldn't either. I hear penicillin gets rid of it pretty good.
But Miley, I wouldn't have been a fan without this. Because of the energy, because of what she captured on this recording, because of how it went. I sure as shit would not have really given a damn, quite frankly, about Miley Cyrus had I not listened to this. So she got a fan out of it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I think the same would go for bands we like, Power Man 5000, Breaking Benjamin, Starset, the ones that I'm kind of...
Oh, are you ready for another bombshell?
Sure.
You know who released a new album today?
Was it Starset?
No.
Was it Breaking Benjamin?
No.
Was it Power Man 5000?
It was, yeah. Power Man.
I was about to go to the Falling in Reverse route because I'm like, well, they've released a lot of singles. Especially Ronald McDonald is their newest one. Sorry. Ronnie Radke's going to tag us now and be like, you guys are from Wisconsin.
He's going to wrestle
Rockfest sucks. Lame. Or whatever. But yeah, so anyways, that vibe brought me in and won me over. Now that vibe that I said about everything is Vegas show vibes.
Yes.
So that's not just like the fact that there's horns galore and backup singers. It's the kind of way the set list was laid out also that gave me Vegas show vibes, because I felt like through a lot of it there was energy. There wasn't really a lull. Even when there was some of the ballads, it was still more uplifting than like sad.
Uplifting is the word I was looking for.
Oh, back when you were talking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was still more uplifting, but that energy was very reminiscent of any given, just take your pick, Vegas residency that you could think of.
Sure.
In some cases, it reminds me of like upbeat in terms of like Wayne Newton singing at his Vegas residency, or probably Rod Stewart if he's done. You know what I mean? Like it's got this real showpiece.
If you think I'm sick. Sorry.
It's got this. Yeah, sure. It's got this real showpiece of energy that I think very similar to Vegas residencies. So I know it was recorded in LA, not in Vegas, not at a residency or something. It was a concert with Green Day, as I noted. But I feel like she kind of transported a Vegas show to her concert, kind of, or like embodied it. And I kind of wrote down too, is this how she always is when she's performed since she's been around?
I have no idea.
Your research saying how many albums she sold, the like concerts she sold out, like all this stuff, even before the Hannah Montana split, tells me, yeah, she probably has brought this level of energy
every time.
Yeah. And arguably, can you do that when your dad is Billy Ray Cyrus and you have the money to back this, even without maybe record label representation or to get
Let me put it this way, actually. Being a huge fan of certain actors, if you can bring Bill Murray out of the woodwork, like there's something to be said for that.
Bill Murray out of the woodwork. How do you figure?
So there is a documentary. I forget where it's at now. It used to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right. And it was about Bill Murray, and this documentary, the director of this documentary essentially is telling all of these Bill Murray stories throughout it.
Yeah.
Right. And,
sure.
Some of the, I forget what the title of this documentary is. People who have seen it they know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And this director has always wanted to meet Bill Murray and has always heard these crazy stories.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest ones is Bill Murray was leaving a restaurant one day and he took a fry off somebody's plate, looked at him square in the face and ate it and said, "Nobody's going to believe you."
That's right.
And walked out. Right.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have rumor has it, he doesn't have an agent. And from what the director of the documentary stated is correct. He doesn't have an agent. He has an answering machine.
Interesting.
And you just leave a message. This is what I'm trying to do. Or like, I'm reaching out for this purpose or whatever. And it's like a flip of the coin if he shows up.
Really?
Yeah.
So I could call Bill Murray right now and be like, you want to come on this fucking we'll do a live podcast?
Yeah, I mean, do some research and find the number, because man,
we got to think of one that would be good for like. Okay, so anybody who's listening to this, maybe I'll even tag Bill Murray in the. I write a description.
I don't know that Bill Murray's got social media.
Well,
he's got an answering
yeah.
machine for an agent.
That's true. Yeah. But okay, we're gonna do some digging, and then we also have to think of what would be a good live album to talk about if we could get Bill Murray somehow on this show in any capacity.
What do you think Bill Murray listens to?
I don't fucking know. I really, I feel like it's probably on some level. It's probably something really eclectic,
it's
like jazz,
yacht rock.
Oh. No, I don't think he's that. That would be like that's what that's what you'd expect him to listen to.
I know.
That's exactly what they'd be expecting us to do. No, I think it'd be like something real eclectic, like well, you remember when he was in like you don't remember when he was in Groundhog Day? Remember when he's playing piano and shit after he learns? Like that's the kind of shit I picture him listening to.
Okay, I can see that.
I picture the fact that scene was in that movie is reason. Just knowing how Bill Murray is, that's reason. Why he did that.
I recently listened to this live album. Yeah. I found it, so I don't remember if I sent you the picture. So Back to the life chaos.
We'll be right back, Miley.
Yeah. Pause for dramatic. Words are hard. Pause for dramatic effect. So the other weekend we were clearing out the basement at the farm, right? Because
Sure.
the basement flooded.
Yeah. Okay. That's not good.
No, it's not good.
It's never good to
It
have water in your
wasn't
house
great.
unless it's
Wasn't
a
great,
pool.
right? And so my dad and I are loading trash into the tractor, and he's got to run a load to the dump, and it's right down the road.
Yeah.
George runs the dump.
Okay.
Okay. And my dad comes back, and he's got this Meatloaf poster.
Oh.
Like, I'm talking legit,
Like
original, tall, like
Bat out of hell
3 foot. Oh, excuse me.
before that.
Like
probably.
3 foot by 2, like whatever the original size of large posters were back in the day.
Yeah.
Like an original print of
I mean, he only had a couple.
Yeah, something about Afraid to Take the Next Step or something. Or no, Welcome to the Neighborhood. Is that what it was?
I'd have to look it up. Is it an album, right?
It's an album, and it's got it's like a painting of a woman on a staircase.
Oh yeah, I don't
That was
remember the
in the
name,
90s.
but okay, yeah,
it was in the 90s, and so
Was it with "I Would Do Anything for Love"?
no, that
'Cause that came out in the
that-
90s or
that-
like late 80s, maybe.
Oh, then maybe it was.
Yeah, it was pretty close to the 90s when that song came out.
And so there were 2 posters, and George wanted to keep one, but he gave the other one to my dad. And so
Okay.
like we got that one,
Okay.
which was pretty rad. And I was thinking of the podcast. I was like, does Meatloaf have a live album?
He does.
And he does.
Is this VH1 Storytellers?
No, he has another one.
He has another one?
He released a live album in 77, right after he did Rocky Horror Picture Show and right after the release of Bat Out of Hell.
Jesus Christ.
And that's all he had.
I didn't know.
had
I
one
didn't
album.
know of that one.
Yep.
I know that there's the VH1 Storytellers one that is like in the end of his career, basically.
Nope.
Because then after that, it was
this
just,
was the very beginning of his career. Right
I
after
like Meatloaf, but after the VH1 Storytellers live album and probably DVD, it was just a slurry of, okay, he's still going to tour, but he's going to generally have cardiac arrest on stage here and there, or blackout or faint or whatever. Like that would happen.
He's been doing that from the beginning.
Yeah, he's got his medical issues got way worse towards the end.
Sure.
Again, I'm speaking on I like Meatloaf. I'm not saying this to be mockery
Oh no,
or anything
no.
like that. But yeah, after that live album, it was kind of like, okay, anytime you go see him, there's a chance he's gonna have a medical emergency on stage. Probably, it was almost expected. Like there's gonna be an intermission for Meatloaf to get revived.
Or we could change the format and have a live listening party.
Possibly.
But anyway,
Where does this all tie back to Miley Cyrus now? Miley, we're back. I'm talking at her like she's here. Well, where were we heading with this? Something about Meatloaf and flooding basements and Vegas residencies.
Oh yeah, we were talking about what album we would listen to.
Oh,
if we had Bill Murray on the
Oh
show.
yeah, okay. So you think that one would be it?
Meatloaf. I think
Meatloaf is he's
would
a
be
fan of
good one.
Meatloaf?
I have no idea if he's a fan,
Okay.
but I mean, I think it's obscure enough that
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I always think of Meatloaf as being real famous, not as obscure. But you're right. He kind of
was before that. Like that was
Yeah.
the very beginning.
Yeah. He wasn't well known probably until from Bat Out of Hell, and then I Do Anything for Love, which the Vegas. Speaking of Vegas residency, talking about Miley Cyrus's performance, the Vegas show Bat Out of Hell, the rendition of I Would Do Anything for Love, phenomenal in that, in my opinion.
Sure.
Look it up on YouTube.
I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, so tying that even more so back, Bill Murray and all that bucket of vomit back to that popcorn dish that you use for puke or popcorn, one of the two. To Miley, like I said, it's definitely, this live album wasn't in Vegas, so it just sounded like it. It had that energy, you know what I mean?
I thought it was in Vegas.
No, it's in LA.
That one, it was LA.
They were both LA. The like 6 songs at the end
end
that we'll talk about after mine, but also that it was at the LA Rams Stadium is that other one.
Okay.
SoFi Stadium. And then this one, it might be, I don't know, it was with Green Day. It had to be in a stadium of sorts. It's
Right.
way too big acts to be in somebody's backyard.
Right.
Or something like the Rave in downtown Milwaukee here in Wisconsin. But so what I also picked up on too, so very much so like I wrote audio class, music class, like a classiness.
Yeah.
But aside from that, Miley Cyrus has a more rebellious persona than I think most were equipped to handle after listening to this. So like she broke away from that child star thing, and she didn't. I think a lot of people peg her as being like she went through her Britney Spears shave my head, go nuts thing like all child stars do, apparently. And I know, again, going back to that Nickelodeon talk I was done before, I get it. Like, there are some serious traumas behind
Some
child
of that
stars
shit,
turning
yeah.
into, yeah, like even Ariana Grande, I'm sure, or Ariana Grande, however I think you say it that way. Stuff like that. But Miley Cyrus, I feel like she didn't have one of those moments. I think we peg it to be when she was all of a sudden came out like, oh, I'm gonna dance all crazy and twerk on Robin Thicke, like I wrote on here and stuff like that over well a decade ago, possibly now. Beyond that even. But I think she always was kind of rebellious. I think in some ways, like Billy Ray probably was too.
There's a certain degree of like there's an element that we don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's a degree of trauma, might not be the right word, but it could be classified as that because her father was a performer. He was always on the,
On the road.
always
Yeah.
on the road, and whatever accommodations that were or weren't made attributed to the fact that he was on the road could have had a positive and or negative effect, then subsequently cascading into what we have now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I felt like that already. My point to that is I felt like Miley Cyrus was already really rebellious without the acting out, so to speak, to like put a label on it. So the way I noted it was she's got a true rebellious attitude. She's a true rebel, not the faux, I'm going to dress weird on the red carpet type of rebellion. Like I'm going to wear a meat dress like Lady Gaga, no offense. But like Lady Gaga to me is like, she is her own element. I don't consider that rebellious. I consider that Lady Gaga is Lady Gaga. You know what I mean? There's some musicians and singers that I feel like all of a sudden just decide, I'm going to go goth and scare the shit out of everybody because you can't put me in I'm a square peg in a round hole and all that stuff, but I think that
we're Green Day. We're going to wear guyliner now.
Yeah. All of a sudden we're going to be emo, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. I don't think Miley Cyrus did any of that. I think this is who she always was.
Right.
I think she was, like you were saying to your points earlier,
Yep.
I think she was always kind of rebellious. And I think that she took it a little farther than most would out of nowhere. But I think that she was bound to, no matter what. It doesn't have to be like a twerking thing that literally defined the word twerking. I think at that point going forward, I hadn't heard of the word twerking before Miley Cyrus and that whole thing that happened. But
Make
that
them
aside,
clap.
What's that?
Huh?
Well, I mean, did you say make them clap?
Yeah.
Dollars. Is that Kevin Hart?
Aliens.
There was a movie he was in where he was like, I was raised by my single mother strippers or single stripper mother. He's like, you ever met a woman who clapped her ass for money? And he's like, dollars. So I think that while yes, did she get all crazy on stage at the VMAs? But I think she was already there was a lot of that, already present, ready for it. It was going to come out in some way. So I think that she's more rebellious persona than most people were equipped to handle, and that's what I mean by that. Is like I think they were expecting, oh, she's having a Britney Spears meltdown. No, I think she's always been like this, and you were just kind of continuing to keep her as Hannah Montana.
Sure.
Until finally it was like she was splitting from that cleanly no matter what.
Right.
And not having a mental breakdown. And then it was just like, okay, now she's free. She's who she is.
And depending on like your perspective of that, you may not have been able to understand that.
Yeah. And that rebellion leads to great genre-defying music, which I feel was massively on this album.
Yes.
Big time. As a set list and also as how she performed it. Because I really think that before, like, I agree with you. Her vocal range is really incredible. I think whether she has writers or not, like I know she had writers. Obviously, you did the research on that. That was great. But I think her vocal range is so incredibly dynamic on this album that I truth be told, I don't know. She could have put a different song here, a different song there, cut this one out, put that one in. It doesn't matter. This girl could sing it like fucking unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that rebellion leads to great genre defying music. And she just knows how to do that naturally because she's a natural, not faux rebel, as I was saying, not the red carpet rebel, we'll call it. Red carpet rebel. Hashtag that. Am I right? No, I'm going to erase that.
Pound sign.
But yeah, pound sign, red carpet rebel. But yeah, so she really there isn't one song that sounds vocally the same to me on this whole album is kind of how I observed it, like at all. There's nothing that sounds exactly the same to me. And that's an incredible feat. Like, 'cause I don't think that you can really not everybody can pull that off.
No, I think if you've been doing it for a long time, there's certain people and or groups that get, I'm not going to say pigeonholed because pigeonholed isn't the right term, but when you start going down a path and find it successful, it's hard to veer away from it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right.
You mean like just like typecasted
Yeah.
in
Yep.
movies, yeah, or
For
something like
instance, another band that released a new album today was POD.
what?
Yeah.
They need a live album too.
Veritas
I've seen them
is the
accidentally.
name of the album.
Okay. I've seen them accidentally like 6 times.
Once for me.
Once for you.
Yeah.
Summerfest?
Yeah, it's Summerfest.
No, at Rockfest or Rock USA.
Did we see him at Rock
They
USA?
filled in from Of Mice and Men. We didn't watch them, but we heard like half their set list
yeah.
while we were walking around.
Well, we saw him at Summerfest too when we
Yeah.
went to go see. Who do we go see?
Nelly,
Nelly. That's right.
who has a live album, like
He
I've
does.
mentioned.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, they released a new album today, and I mean, it's like they're not bad,
Sure, yeah.
but there's nothing. This is going to sound harsh. There's nothing outstanding about this album that made me think like, oh, this is like they're doing something heavier, or they're going in a different direction, or they're really pushing the boundaries on what the sound is. Like it sounds like Youth of the Nation album.
Oh God. So they are definitely pigeonholed.
They definitely have gone the route of being pigeonholed, in my opinion. Now, mind you, that's not bad either.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
But I think with musicians, and I'm sure just hearing how Miley Cyrus kind of operated on this one, I think a lot of musicians and especially singers probably don't want to be pigeonholed, in that sort of sense, because that's what gets boring is when you're just like, you're going to play this stuff and you're never going to sound different. You're never going to experiment. You're never going to try something new. It's like you got that argument of like, this is their job.
Yes.
But also this is still their hobby.
Yeah.
Which is a hard life to live in many ways, because now it's like you're doing it for the money and for the people and what they're expecting of you, just like they're expecting Miley Cyrus to be Hannah Montana, but you still want to be a creative performer, that like writes new things and defies genres and whatever. And that's hard to do because you got the people saying, oh, this new stuff sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks. Like they know what you should do instead or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, vocal range is incredible. Couldn't hear a single thing the same throughout it. I mean, her tone of voice here and there, sure, but not really. Like there was a lot of variation throughout it. And I loved that. Then briefly to say too, the drumming. I know that I'm a drummer, so I noticed that. But like the intro to a couple songs, the bongos is very percussive,
yes,
and very dynamic in terms of the rhythms too, not just the singing. In terms of like the rhythm. 4x4, and like each one of these songs had a very different rhythm, very different song structure.
Yes.
That was kind of incredible. Even on the slower ballads, the drumming was like pretty powerful. Like not cheesy 80s powerful. Like we're talking like actually suits the song still.
Yes.
But little touches, maybe little extra bass drum hits here and there, or little extra fills that makes it live. And like drumming, I listen to that a lot. Makes a live album live to me, because you don't play it verbatim to the album. You know what I mean? It's like there's always gonna be a fill here that you didn't do on the album, a fill there you didn't do, that sort of thing. Which again goes back to why all live albums should exist for every band.
Yes.
But the drumming on this one was definitely, and this was different to me too. And maybe you have a different take on this, but I don't know. Have you ever been to a pop concert, like by a pop singer?
You're gonna have to give me a minute on that.
Yeah, because I got to think too. I don't count Nelly's hip hop, so I don't count that one. But
correct, I'd go with that. Pop.
As a kid, I didn't. I know. I think I didn't see like Backstreet Boys or something. You know what I mean? Like, or like Christina, anything like that.
None of those. I mean,
the closest that I can think of.
Yeah.
I saw 303.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
So would that be hip hop? Would you say that's not pop? I guess
that's not really Yeah, you're right. It's not really pop. I'd say probably closer to hip hop than pop, to be
Jesus.
honest with you.
Cobra Starship opened for them. That's not pop either. I don't know. Neon Trees, I've seen them.
Have you?
Yeah. I guess that'd be kind of pop. Well, that's a band though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
driving at with this is like Miley had such an ensemble going on this.
Oh, she did. Yeah.
Is that usual for pop concerts? Like if Bieber plays somewhere, does he have a drummer and a guitarist and a whole like brass section with him and shit like that? Or is this kind of
I don't think so.
you wouldn't think? Yeah, maybe bad example, but like
Yeah, probably
like Britney Spears. You think she's
I think she's got like a whole thing.
the whole band and
think
whole
she's got a
everything?
whole
Yeah,
band and
or
like-
Lady Gaga.
She's got
maybe?
like backup dancers, like tons of dancers. Like it's more of a physical show than it is.
So yeah, so what I originally used to think of pop singers as being with performing live is really it's that. It's
Would you consider Weird Al to be pop?
I don't know, man. That's like Tenacious D to me in a way,
fair.
except
Yeah,
of parodies.
I see you.
I guess
Yeah.
pop, maybe a little bit. But he probably has a band with him, right?
He does, yeah.
Yeah. So like what I'm driving at is like all I ever thought as a kid with like pop shows was like backup dancers and backing tracks. I never thought of like a live band is what I'm getting at.
Sure.
So the drumming stuck out to me because I'm like, it's clear there's percussionist drummers and all kinds of shit going on this show that she performed. But you know, like usually I've always assumed them to be programmed beats and samples and whatever the fuck else. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
definitely not, you know, a band and a brass section and backup singers and gospel singers and all that stuff whatsoever. But I think that point being like that shows that I also live under a rock because I'm very wrong about that clearly.
I think the closest I got was I was dating somebody at one point in time who loved Hanson.
Okay.
And like we went as far as like she could win tickets if we went to I think it was like what was it, fucking like Kiss FM or some shit.
Yeah.
And so I wore a shirt that said, "Give my girlfriend Hanson tickets."
Did you seriously?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember if she got them or not.
Okay.
And I'm 90% sure that I didn't go to that show either.
Yeah, my wife has been to Backstreet Boys, Kesha. You know, I should have asked her before this because like she went and saw Kesha when you and I went and saw Slipknot.
Yes.
And
you told me that story.
and
Fucking Dave
it
Chappelle.
didn't. Yeah, Dave Chappelle was on the main stage at Summerfest. For those who have never been to Summerfest, there's a stage you pay to get into, and then there's the free ground stages. Kesha was on one of the free ground stages. Dave Chappelle was still doing his stand up on the paid main stage and was not letting anybody else start until he was done, which was well after 11 o'clock. So Kesha went on at 11 o'clock in a city that's got like a sound ordinance at like 10:45. So it was already like fucking like illegal almost per the city of Milwaukee,
right?
To like have
Sound
her play.
ordinance.
Yeah. I think the other stages had just kind of wrapped up and gave up, like that sort of thing. But Kesha stuck around and performed. But anyways, I also think that this live album and this performance, the musicianship is there. You know what I mean? Like the guitars, the horns, my horns, horny and sad. Was that it? Sad and horny.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't make me sad and horny. It made me horny in the sense of like the horns. The horns are there, so it's very horny music.
Woof.
But that overall, like even on the, I'm going to get to the covers and then I'm going to dive into my review of the set list. But just my thought on the covers. But like she fits, like you were saying, it kind of intertwined with my notes here. She fits on all these songs that she sang. Like she never sounded like, oh yeah, this is Miley Cyrus, and also trying to show off with a band or something like that, or show off with a flashy show. It's like, no, she sounded like she belonged. She was like interwoven as a texture into this music.
Yes.
And still was the lead singer of it all. You know what I mean? And that was impressive to me because to me, other pop stars don't. It's a show about them.
Yes.
Especially, I know you keep
agree.
referencing like Lady Gaga, or in this case, Beyonce. I don't want to piss off what do they call themselves? Like the fans of Beyonce? They're like the queen bees or some shit, whatever.
No.
I don't want to piss those people off. They look like they fuck in an unfriendly fashion. Jesus. But I have to admit, like Beyonce, good singer. I can't argue that she's not a good singer, but I think her shows are more about her. And you know, like, and I haven't. Maybe I'll be. She does have a live album. Maybe I'll listen to it.
Ooh.
I mean, we will do it. maybe I'll be proven
I may
wrong.
have heard it already.
Yeah, maybe I'll be proven wrong about it. But Miley Cyrus seemed very selfless musically in this, where she was interwoven with the band, with the everything, especially even on the covers. And it's funny that I wrote that down because I didn't see your notes till today that you felt that same way. Like she didn't make it all about herself for these covers. And speaking of which, before I go into the set list, covers, exclamation point. All evidence of her impressive range in music, because if you really think about it, she sang Heart of Glass. Well, she sang Where's My Mind, which is the Pixies cover. That's like I guess you would call it punk band, right? Basically, a grungy punk band.
Yep.
Jolene, by country. Heart of Glass, the pop song. Like a Prayer, a kind of androgynous pop song.
Yep.
Edge of Midnight, which was kind of her Edge of Sense, which is a classic rock jam, if you will. I mean, with Stevie Nicks. Yep, throwback. I mean, Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor during these are all these are really, really drastically different genres that are all on the same album being sung by the same individual, and they all sounded a little different. Like she matched the song, not making the song about her. And I was astounded. Like, I'm usually not that big on covers. And I know you like the same bands I do a lot of times, but like I went and saw, like I was saying, I saw Stained. I saw I Prevail with them. And their springboard was playing a Taylor Swift cover, a heavy metal version, or like we were talking Pop Goes Punk, Pop Goes 90s, right? I mean, covers are cool, but they're novelty to me in some way. These didn't seem like a novelty to me. They were sticking out pretty well as like a holy shit, this girl knows what she's doing.
Yes, because
because of these covers,
right?
And in addition to her songs. So yeah, go.
It's one thing to have covers and to do them, to see what you can do with them. Excuse me.
Sure.
And to see, I guess, a good example of this is, like, I made the Chiodos reference earlier.
Yeah.
And again, not bad. Just I feel it could have been better, especially given the band and their talents. Another example is off of the same album, actually, is Falling in Reverse and Gangster's Paradise.
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting one.
Well, exactly. Right. I mean, if it's not something you're living and you're going to like, I have no idea how this played out. So what I'm about to say is a pure assumption of how things played out. But it's like, if you're just going to pick a song to do it because it was in the 90s or it fits the bill. Yeah. Without vetting, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who likes that song or that cover of
it. The cover of Gangster's Paradise.
Of Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah.
And it's fine if you do, but I've listened to it enough. I don't need to hear it anymore in my life. And I feel like it could have been, how do you say?
Could have been just better in general.
Yeah, it could have been, right? Because it's not a bad song.
We're gonna get canceled by the guy who doesn't like Wind Bro.
Yeah, you just like Wind Bro. Funny enough, and that's part of it. So to tie it all back to
disliked Wind Bro.
To go back down this road again, right? You've got the cover of Gangster's Paradise by Falling in Reverse.
Yeah.
Right? Not a fan.
All right.
All right. Maybe there are people who like it. Great. I don't care. I'm not trying to be mean about it. It's just not something that sticks out to me that I need to continue to listen to.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. Weird Al parodied Gangster's Paradise.
He did.
Amish Paradise. Right. Yeah. Love the shit out of that song. Fucking love the shit.
I remember that one.
Love the shit out of that song.
I'll never forget.
I fucking laughed so hard the first time I heard that song. I could not believe it.
Sure.
But that's just a perfect case of like not making it about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly. It's like, it's about the song. It's not about, yeah, exactly. Well, and you got to admit, like, though, before we move on to my set list, Ronnie Radke and the whole concept of Falling in Reverse. I mean, it's just like pro wrestling. Like, I look at that band like a pro wrestling thing in the same vein, because it's like, it is all about, it's like he went in that.
What you gonna do, brother?
Yeah. He just went into that to be this like gaudy entertainment figure. You know what I mean? And the music is good. I like Falling in Reverse's originals. I love the drumming now that they have Luke Holland involved. But it's like he himself is definitely he's just a spectacle. And
Yes.
so like everything's a spectacle about himself. And so it's almost like, what's Ronnie gonna do every time, they're at it. I mean, we were talking about that at Rockfest last year when he showed up and then ended up shitting on all of us about how much we suck, apparently.
Yeah.
It was pouring fucking rain while I was waiting to go into the pit, and like torrential downpour. And I was just like, I bet you he doesn't even fucking show. I bet you he cancels. He canceled that Hogfest earlier in the year. Like with, I saw
that was just weeks before, wasn't it?
That was about 2 months before.
Was it? Okay.
But it was like I saw Beartooth that night. I saw Dorothy. Dorothy again. That's gonna be my first want, I think, for live album wants on this show.
Yeah.
But he canceled. I don't remember why. Vocal cord injuries. His voice was going. Something like that. But it was like the downpour, and we're all standing in line talking to other people in line, going, "This is fucking ain't gonna happen. He's not gonna. This is gonna get canceled once we go right in front. We're not gonna get refunded for the pit passes." And no, he showed up, but it's like again, it's like that just the actions afterwards of this place is fucking boring. Where it's like it's just this big drama thing, all bringing it onto himself. Like, and I don't see that musically in a lot of singers, especially now. But I mean, pop singers are usually the ones you would expect that from. Miley Cyrus completely proved me wrong.
Yes.
But she proved me wrong in the sense of her singing and her musicianship and her composition and working with these covers and originals. Not proved me wrong by telling me, oh, I don't want to be like the center of attention in these. No, she just actions speak louder than words. And that's what was embodied in this album, which I gotta give it to her most definitely. So now onto the set list. Which again, I've got my general notes, like very brief notes, but you really went into detail and some of it is crossed over. So I like a lot of it has actually, because you and I were strangely thinking a lot alike in a lot of cases. So if mine
don't cross the streams, bro.
Yeah, if mine is a little more abbreviated compared to like Bad Omens, don't hate me about it. But I think there was a lot of shit that you touched on that it's like we're related or something. You just don't cross the streams, bro.
Yeah.
The live album made me enjoy the song "We Can't Stop" because I didn't really like that song in the great scheme of it, and it has to do with studio production.
Sure,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
It's like okay, it's a pop song,
overproduced pop.
Yeah, it's like you said, it does send it at the beginning. I agree with you on that. That was a crossover part for me with your opinions about it, but I think that originally it seemed like what did you call this other song? Filler, or what did you call it? Like ear candy, clickbait for the ears.
Oh,
what
clickbait for the ears.
Bangers.
That was
yeah.
bangers.
That was kind of how I was feeling about We Can't Stop when that was a studio produced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Live, mixing it with the Pixies cover and everything. Like it was sending it. It was like commanding.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, we're here to fuck around and we're going to find out. Or
yeah.
Like she says, yeah, like boyfriends are here. Yeah, I fuck with Green Day. Let's see what Miley's doing.
Yes.
Love her attitude about that stuff. But yeah, this album made me like We Can't Stop because of how it was presented to me. Kind of there's a lot of my discussion that goes back to like what I started this discussion with, which is that live albums can sometimes make me fall in love with an artist that I would have never liked because I didn't really give a shit about the song before I saw how excited people got in a crowd about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, We Can't Stop. I agree with you there. It comes out kicking ass, plus mixed with a cover. I think that really pushed it a lot in a good way. Plastic Hearts is where I got the Vegas vibes. That's where that came out of the gate.
Sure.
That was really like raging out of the gate. Where I was like, okay, this is like a Vegas show because it goes right into it. And you got this kind of go home, like jazzy jazz hands shit.
Yep.
And I'm just picturing like, your dancers in Vegas with the fucking feathery hats and fucking feathery tails and whatever.
Yep.
Like doing the can and shit.
Yep.
Like it's just like the chorus takes off in that song. Like you opened, speaking of boxes, you open this like box of excitement that's like, whoa, holy shit, Miley Cyrus is here.
Opened
like,
a can of whoop ass.
Yeah. That one, it was almost like to me, Plastic Hearts was like sending it more than We Can't Stop.
Yep.
But it was a good second song to follow up because it was like, okay, we start with the one everyone knows and it does kind of send it. And we go right into this like jazzy, like boom, hello, flash. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't want to
around and find out.
Like, you don't want to start with, even when I went to that show last Friday, you don't want to start fuck around and find out. You found out during Plastic Hearts, you fucked around with Miley a little bit during We Can't Stop, and then Plastic Hearts just kind of punched you through the chest, heart on the other side within the hand,
through the chest cavity.
Yeah, through the
Full
chest cavity.
Kill Bill style.
No, what I mean is like we're going to talk about the live I Prevail album at some point.
Yes.
That one from when they were first kind of on the rise has songs recorded from concerts when they were on the rise, all meshed together, produced very well. But they open with Bow Down, right? And it's a fucking ass kicking, holy shit. You know,
yeah.
They didn't do that now in this new tour. They opened with something heavy, but not quite that heavy. And then it got really intense.
What did they open up with?
Oh, it was one of the new ones. And it wasn't one of the heaviest new ones on True Power.
Was it Body Bags?
No, that was the second song. That's what I mean.
Oh.
It's like it went into Body Bag right after the first one. So it went just like Miley's album here. It was like, okay, we're hitting hard, and then we're hitting really fucking hard. So
now I want to know, like, I can't remember what else is on that album.
I want to make sure I never do that with my hand again. No. It was, I mean, you know.
Oh, jeez. Say hi to the camera.
say hi to the camera.
I'm going to put that one on the...
After this episode, I'll look up that song they opened with,
Jesus
but it was strangely reminiscent to this, where it was like We Can't Stop energy to Plastic Hearts energy, because Body Bag was like the second song, I think, and that was fucking it got real intense right after that. But yeah, Plastic Hearts,
camping.
That's what cheese. That's what made it. That's what made it sound like Vegas to me. That one straight up. You said this was your favorite.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
I don't know if it. Like, there was a few that I would label my favorite, some of which you might not expect me to like, but Plastic Hearts is up there because of that rhythm and the jazziness. I really, really enjoyed that. So I thought that was good. 4x4 is catchy.
Yep.
I want the like
round and round and away we go.
And away we go. And away we go. And a 4x4. And the guy in me wants to hope this song is about riding in a 4x4, but it kind of sounds like somebody humping on a dick, narrating sex.
Oh, so I wasn't gonna say it.
Miley, I really, from my heart to yours, I really want to know, is this song about fucking or is this song about riding in a 4x4? Because, I mean, you didn't want to say it? Is this a crossover with yours analysis, too? That you thought this was about fucking?
I was going to leave this out.
Why?
I was just going to let it go.
Why didn't you let it loose? Don't hold it in. Don't hold back your true feelings. Never hold back your true...
Well, if you listen to the rest of, like, aside from the chorus...
Did you like my freestyling or no? So wait, what was it now? If you listen to the chorus...
if you listen to the lyrics, like, probably about fucking...
I mean, you know, like, dropped down so hard she nearly pissed herself. I mean, I don't know, man. This is, like, when I have to post this on YouTube, I have to actually mark that this is not for children, but you don't have to censor it. There's an actual box I have to mark. Talking a lot about boxes tonight. It's on point with 4x4 and away we go. Well, she says something about grabbing the rail.
Yeah, yes, she does.
And
she
also
says something about dirt all over her body.
Dirt all over her body, and she grabs the rail. I mean, she get like, okay, so theoretically, she could be talking about fucking in a 4x4. Or when I think grab the rail, I'm thinking of the headboard.
Yeah.
You know, he lets loose and you grab the rail. God damn, I really didn't think I was going to be talking about this shit today.
Yup.
4x4, and this song is strictly about fucking a guy. And I mean, it's very catchy.
It's a very catchy song.
Clever, but I swear to God, it's a metaphor for sex. And I don't mean that to undercut you, Miley.
It's a
Miley,
euphemism.
I feel like that guy in the meme where he's like, come here. This song is a euphemism for sex. Come here. She's talking about grabbing the rail. That's clearly a headboard. Okay, come here. Get a little closer.
I
can't think of his name. You know who I'm
Stallion.
talking about. The meme that I'm talking about.
No.
The guy doing the memes that he's like, come here.
The video? Come a little closer.
Yeah. Where he's always
back up. You're too close.
Yeah.
That guy. Jason the Stallion, is that his name?
Maybe, yeah. When you said Stallion, I'm just thinking Megan the Stallion.
No, not Megan the Stallion.
Obviously, he's parodying her name, I'm guessing, a little bit.
I have no idea.
Jason the Stallion. Okay.
I think it's Jason. Is Jay something.
Okay.
Either Jason or
I feel
John
like...
or...
So...
I can't look it up. My phone's recording video.
You were listening to this album while you were getting your tires repaired.
Yep.
Right? You know, that was the last listen. My last listen,
Correct.
I was out on my motorcycle. Okay. This song pops up.
You were
while
on
I'm
a
riding.
2x2.
I was on a 2x2 and away we go. And away we go. I was riding my motorcycle, bouncing around to this song, and that's what I have shock absorbers on my motorcycle. But I mean, I was riding around with it on, and I was like, this song is about fucking. I like it's gotta be. Just the rhythm. And the rhythm too. Like the rhythm, it sounds like you're humping. Like 4x4, away we go. And 4x4, away we go. Round and round, away we go. Oh man, we're never gonna turn this into a living.
Jesus Christ.
So you agree
Are
with
you
that?
sure?
Do you agree with that? That was you just didn't want to say it. You said,
I just left that out.
okay, you just didn't want to say it, but everybody was thinking it.
Oh yeah, everybody was thinking it.
Yeah.
This was one of those instances. So like, I didn't purposefully leave my notes out like from today, but like this is one of those instances where it's like I'm not going to say anything, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Right? Like it's fine that like I put stuff in there and you see my notes, but then also like you're kind of informed.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. I like the crossover. That's why I like going through this with you, because I was like seeing like, okay, let's see what you had to say. You do some research and then you get your opinion. And I'm like, there's a lot that always chunks over. And I'm like, I was wondering if this is if you're gonna catch on to this.
Oh yeah. This song's
man.
about fucking.
And then
Tom DeLonge.
that's not just that. Buck Cherry.
Oh.
Their live album, it's live in Tokyo,
Yep,
and it's about
yep.
circa 08, 09, somewhere in there. And he's like, it's like a breakdown in Crazy Bitch. And he's
Yep.
like, everything goes back to fucking.
Yup.
So then that brings us to.
I saw them during that era
Did you?
with Avenged Sevenfold.
Did they sing fucking bangers?
No, they didn't.
Okay. That's what's coming up. That's what's coming up hot on the rear after this. So it is interesting. I agree. Do I need an adult? I don't know if I would go that far. You said you needed an adult. You needed someone to hold your hands.
Like, help, I need an adult.
Yeah. You needed some counseling after this one. And you're going to need a little bit more counseling after I tell you what I think this is about. I think this is about tits and ass. I don't think this is about bangers of songs. I think this is about chesticles and
Jesus.
Because she's like, I didn't really listen closely, and I should have.
I get lost in the melody.
Yeah, there's so much shit going on in that song. Yeah.
Bangers.
Yeah, they're like that's clearly the chorus, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the verses.
Neither do I.
I'd have to look at, and I will. I'm gonna eventually look it up. When I muster the strength, when I have my therapist on speed dial, I'll look this up because it might ruin my day. But no, I personally, again, innuendo-ish thing. I think it's about assets, so to speak, because she keeps saying big fucking bangers.
Yep.
And I have a feeling she's dancing around seductively at some point during this. You know, we always talk like, can you picture the performance in your head?
Sure.
I'm picturing this being like a real crowd interaction, like probably a little scandalous dancing. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Sure.
it sounds like something that's kind of like sassy, if you will.
Mhm,
You know
it
what I
does.
mean? As weird as it is for me to say that, sassy. But yeah, it's definitely a metaphor for tits and ass. So, anyways, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but I think it's boobs and butts.
Yep.
Do it. This was an interlude. You thought that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what to make of this one. This was one I as an interlude-ish song. I don't like. You're right. I don't remember the lyrics either. We kind of covered that already, but like I smoke pot. Yeah, I'm into peace. I don't know what this amounts to. If it's just like the kind of like
Like a palate cleanser, I think.
yeah, it's like some like prelude or interlude into 23, which is I love that song. I think it's good. I would never like a song like that. I wouldn't call it
Sure.
quite my favorite on this. But
Got your J's on?
yeah, it got me putting my J's on. And at first, you want to know what I thought she was saying?
Oh, no.
Chains on my feet.
What?
Chains on my feet.
Jesus.
like chained to something. I don't know. Maybe the 4x4.
Maybe I was going to say.
maybe the 4x4 sex got a little 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Miley.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if she had a sex dungeon.
Yeah. Like, but then if you chains on your feet, it's like, okay, well, I mean, same with On Your Arms, right? Like all told. Or is it chains on my feet, like hanging from the ceiling upside down? You're coming back, right? As the door shuts. Okay, bro, I'm just gonna hang here. But no, Jay's on my feet. The rhythm to the song, like this is not a song I should like. I mean, really, like based on yours and my music interests and experience in music and things like that, there's really no fucking reason that I should enjoy a song like this, but I really did. And I like that it's like a poppy rap hip hop kind of like trap. Is that like the rhythm is like a trap beat.
Is this trap music?
Is this might have been I think she's stuck in a bear trap in this song. She's got chains on her feet. Now I'm picturing like it's a cartoon. Like she's got stuck in a fucking bear trap.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. Well, I say, I got chains on my feet. Tonight's a impersonation night at the podcast
at
house.
The ranch.
Yeah. But I really like that jam. I like the rhythm, the rapping, everything about it. And that's the best way I can explain it is like I shouldn't probably like a song like that. I don't know why I do.
Sure.
I mean, those are valid reasons that it's good rhythm and stuff, but the lyrics too, it's just got that kind of like I don't know, makes me feel young again. Not that I'm old, but it makes me feel like I'm at a club, like you
that's the picture she's painting. Like the lyrics are literally her telling the story of her being in the club doing those
probably
things.
At 23, I'm guessing. Hypothetically speaking. Yeah, I don't know. That I like that one. That one's up there with a favorite, and it's weird to say
Interesting.
that. Yeah, it's up there. Now before going to Never Be Me, here's just like an offshoot about live albums in general that this is a good one to bring up.
Okay.
When artists go into, and this is a question for you, when artists go into that long banter kind of moment, no matter if it's good or unfortunately like an album I'm going to add to our list soon by a band I actually enjoy, but I hate their banter on it, believe it or not. It's a rarity for me. But when bands do a live album, I like banter, as I've said many times. Just like Bad Omens didn't really have crowd noise that pissed me off. They never texted me either about what or tagged me about whatever. But do you like the banter recorded before the song or after the song? So, for instance, 23 songs over, but the track itself is like 8 minutes long because her banter is after the song 23.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the banter to be after a song is over or at the start of it?
After. Okay. Only for the sake of being able to skip to the start of the next song.
Yes.
Not that the banter isn't important, and I could really go either way, but I think I'd be irritated if the banter was at the beginning of a song.
Sure.
And
depending on the banter
and who it is. In this case, it works the way it is, and I prefer it this way because it's at the end of the song. I've heard it. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's also an 8-minute song that I can skip and save 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right?
I 100% agree with you. Banter, good, bad, or in between needs to be at the end of the song. It needs to be there because I think it's important to the show.
I agree.
And especially her messages are actually positive in this and not some kind of political rant or something like that.
Correct.
But it's got to be after.
Shave your cats.
There was what? Shave your cats?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be another?
No, that is not a euphemism.
Okay. All right. There is an album I greatly enjoy that I'll put on this list of a band that you probably have heard of, never probably listened to. Their banter, the one major rant that they go on, is at the start of the song, a song I do enjoy, and it's a very heavy political 6-minute argument about how right they are, and they're European, so that makes it even worse.
What?
Yeah, it's like I'm very moderate already, but like just. You want it's the 1975. That's
really?
The band. Yes.
Really? Okay.
They have a very, very good live album we're gonna do, but I don't want to spoil too much of like that.
No, that's fine.
But that is one example, just one of many that I do know where the banter is before the song, and it's in that case a banter I don't feel like hearing no matter who believes what.
Yes.
This one is afterwards, which reminded me that it needs to be after because even if it's good banter, it's after the fact, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then we go into Never Be Me. This song hits home for me and how I feel about my own life sometimes. And this also is one of my favorites on the album, lyrically, especially. Is it kind of like a throwback pop song, like you were saying? Absolutely. But the lyrics are great.
Yep.
You know, like just I like it much like a lot of the music we listen to, you feel disenfranchised, you feel whatever it might be, you know, that sort of thing. That's why you listen to rebellious music. This is like a slow song that emotionally touches that chord with me. Whereas, like, there's more aggressive metal songs I like that are rebellious metal songs. They're like, you know, I'm out of the ordinary kind of songs, or I'm a rebel and stuff. This is like showing a soft side of that. That's like
Yep.
strangely okay.
Yes.
I don't want to say like, is this emotions with the butterfly? But I'm like, I kind of have that feeling like, you know, it's this like emotional hit where I'm like, I've felt the way she's felt before, you know, like where I'm like, if you think that I'm stable, that'll never be me. If you
Yep.
think, I'm not saying I'm not a stable human being, but I'm
No,
saying
but
like,
in times.
yeah, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, I think we're all a little like wacky. And I think we're all a little kind of off, and we all don't want to fit in the round peg in the round hole sometimes, you know, and I think that this was a real sensitive way to embody that feeling in this song. And I loved it. I thought it was great. Lyrically makes it one of my favorites on this album. Definitely.
That reminds me of there was there's a video that it has been circulating for a while now, and it came across my feed recently again.
Sure.
And it's one of those toys where you fit the shapes into the corresponding holes.
Yeah, the round peg and the round hole.
peg
Yeah.
and the round hole. Right.
Yep.
Well, people are duetting it and sharing their reactions to it, and how just unhinged people get watching it, because in the video it's, well, the square goes in the square hole.
Yeah.
The rectangle, right, goes in the square hole.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole, like, everything goes in the square hole, and
Yeah.
everybody just loses their
They're
shit.
fucking cringing. You can see their faces getting worse
Just
as the
worse.
video goes on.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh shit, that was good. So then did we decide maybe? Was that the song? Maybe, right?
Maybe.
Did we decide if that was a cover or not? Maybe.
I've got it all the way up here.
Oh, Jesus.
We talked about it a long times ago.
Down. That sounds weird to narrate. Up, down, down.
4x4.
Hold your
Away
finger.
we go.
Oh, 4x4. Oh, I just threw in that like New Orleans tone to it too. 4x4, and away we go, and away we go. Oh yeah, I see what you're seeing. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, Janis Joplin. How the fuck did I miss that? I don't know.
You'll have to find your spot in the notes, sir.
I got it. Damn, is she sang that well? And like we were saying, the crossover was I kind of saw your '90s vibe because of Melissa Etheridge singing, where it's like, oh, baby.
Yep.
Can we do that again? It's a little baby. Steve Carell. Somewhere down in the man in the my baby. Oh yeah.
Do my best. What's his face?
Ooh.
Fucking. Why can't I think of Eddie Vedder?
Oh yeah, marbles.
No,
Marbles in the mouth.
That was definitely who was that?
That's Eddie Vedder. That's Pearl Jam.
Well, yeah, the first mockery I did was,
did you see the There I Ruined It page of that? It was like just hey, it's just a bunch of shit for like 30 seconds straight. Yeah. That was good. But yeah, she lights that one up. That song Maybe. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's like holy shit, I'm in love. Like listening to someone sing like that. I'm like, wow, that's fucking fantastic.
Does a great job.
Yeah, she does a great job on that one. 7 Things. You thought that was a 90s one too, ish, or you know, had a tone.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like it had another Vegas show kind of anthematic tone to it. Where I'm just picturing a very like flamboyant, I guess is the best word to put it, stage setup or stage performance. Like
Sure.
a lot of like, well, like, you know, when Tina Turner was finally singing in stadiums and shit, and she was on like this like elevated platform and shit. I'm picturing an elevated platform in my head during that song.
It has to be. It's LA.
Yeah, because I'm like, holy shit, is that
And
like
Green
it's
Day.
yeah, and Green Day, it's opening for Green Day, but yeah, I'm just picturing like a very dramatic kind of display of whatever, but like tonally, definitely, it's just vague. It's like she did a really good job with this live album, especially songs like that, painting this picture in my head of what was probably going on. You know what I mean? At the
Yeah.
same, like that sort of thing. Where I'm just like, I can picture, even if it's wrong, I'm picturing if I was her director, I would be telling her to do that. And most artists don't paint that kind of picture for me, when I'm listening to just live album. And on that point too, I had somebody ask me other than you, when I told them about our pod. They said they too asked, "Do you do live DVDs or there's live DVD recordings of Black Label Society or whoever I was looking up?"
Yeah.
And I was like, we can, like, there's no problem with eventually shifting to like episodes here and there of that if a band only has a live DVD or something. But again, to me, it's kind of just that like, but there's something mystical about like it's a live recording and I have no fucking idea what they looked like and what. So,
Sure.
like for example, when she at the end says Green Day's coming up next, and I guarantee you they're not going to walk
Yeah,
off
Rob.
stage in
Yep.
fucking underwear or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to pick like what the fuck was she wearing at this point in the show?
It
Like
was the same thing she was wearing on the cover.
okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess I didn't look up anything about like
I imagine it's on the cover she is wearing just a transparent suit
okay.
in thong underwear.
Okay. Had no idea. I
Yeah.
guess I didn't picture that tone of voice throughout this.
I'd have to look up video of it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Oh,
But
I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
imagine being the cover of the album and also Miley being Miley, that's probably what it was.
That she's not gonna. That Green Day's not. They might walk off stage in underwear.
I
Blink
was
182 did it.
yeah, I know. I thought that too myself. I was like, I don't know.
Red Hot Chili Peppers is fucking naked half the time on
Yep.
stage. So I mean, like, she's probably more tactful than
Right?
half the bands that Green Day toured with back in the day, especially back in the day. But so yeah, the lull finally in this show hits when I get to High and You. It's like High. It's supposed to be uplifting, but to me, it's like, yeah, now we're mellowing things out, right? We're singing this
Yep.
song that's kind of like it's supposed to be again uplifting, and I find it to just be kind of melodramatic, if you will.
Okay.
And You is great. It's a good song. Loved it. Now I'm kind of reading through the set list that you'll notice sans covers because earlier I lumped those all together,
Yep.
like in a way, but also kind of kept them separate because I know Jolene's mixed in there. Obviously, like what was the earlier one? Heart of Glass, all those ones.
Yep.
Like I said, I think I'll go back to this when I'm summing up in a couple minutes here, but like obviously don't forget, yeah, those are mixed in. I'm just going through her basically mostly originals at this point, that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
so this High and You kind of is like a lull, right? It's kind of like you hit this kind of like thing where it's like, okay, we've calmed down a little bit. And I agree, this was a big crossover. I agree that the You is definitely there's this like tone, this singing, this is where her skill is really the vocals really start standing out to me to keep me interested. Say High, yeah, like I see what you meant, but You was like, holy shit. Like this is really, really good singing that she's
Yes.
got going on here,
Yeah.
that she's got talent, like arguably, and no one listening to this could argue otherwise, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely a lull that kind of calms us down. And then it does go into the Like a Prayer. I know that obviously, and I like that cover, but um The Climb has always been, in my opinion, too sappy for me, even though I know it's supposed to be uplifting.
Yeah.
Compared to High, that song really makes me saptastic. Um, so real brief backstory on my life. When I was in college, I changed colleges because my first college kind of basically told me, you're never going to be what I ultimately own a business in now. And basically kind of told me, like, change your major because you suck. Long story short. And I said, well, I'm going to change my school because you suck. And then now we're here.
Here we are.
That song was popular at that time. And I was kind of going through some life issues with an ex and all kinds of stuff like that. Not quite an ex yet at the time, but well on the way. There was a lot of things in my life that felt like I was just floundering. And while that song is supposed to be uplifting, I totally respect it.
Sorry.
Yes, floundering. floundering and like now it's like I like tried to drown myself and the Disney characters are swimming around like under the sea, going in and out of my nostrils and shit.
And Dory's over there, just keep swimming.
Yeah, she's like he can't swim, but just keep swimming. Here, I'll show you to the top.
She's going through your ears. You can see her through your eyeballs.
Yeah. She's like, here, let's just swim to the top, and I'm just still laying there like the corpse that I am, you know. But my life was not fun for that stretch of time, and that song, I get it. It's like about the climb, you know, like doing better, but it made me feel very emotional a lot of times about like not like in a super intense like sadness way, but emotional in the sense that like I'm like, am I doing the right thing in my life? You know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. This is the part of the climb, if you will.
Right.
But I never would have thought a Miley Cyrus song would have hit me like that. But, you know, it kind of did. And I was just sitting there kind of like, this is like, makes me sad. And it still does. And her vocal range is great in it. I don't want to undercut how good she sings that song. But that song has always been too sappy for me just because of my circumstances at the time that it came out.
Sure. And
I can't think of anything else other than that time in my life where I'm like, even the happiest and success that I've found in my life now, I just think of those days where it's like, I mean, you know, we all move past those days at some point, and we all look at it like a growth period. And I look at it like, yeah, but I was just about to crack through to, you know, kind of be happy again, if you will.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I still can't look past the shit that was going on in my life. And that's just what it reminds me of all the time now. You know what I mean? And I still have a hard time with that song. So in some ways, you know, I like it. In other ways, I'm like, well, I can like it for the sake of the art, not so much for the sake of I'm going to listen to this and be okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
Wrecking Ball. Something I liked live better than the studio recording, obviously.
Okay.
Now I feel it has to be, but I said now I feel like with the power that came with that song, now I feel like it has to be a crime to not like that song because it's just something that universally people are probably like belting out and shit at bars.
Oh, yeah.
It's like fucking Sweet Caroline now at this point.
It really is.
And it combined with Nothing Compares to You, I felt kind of how you were saying, like this is an interesting juxtaposition that works. But it's kind of like it works because it just blends together, you know, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it works, but Wrecking Ball is the dominating song. And that one, you know, it's just a little brief interlude of Nothing Compares to You. But it made me like that one too. It's kind of like it made me like that one in the sense of just like We Can't Stop. Now, I didn't like that studio recording, but I definitely liked the live version too.
Right.
Just trying to make my computer live again.
Son of bitch.
I can't reach. Hold on, folks.
Pause for dramatic effect.
Pause for me hitting the space bar over and over again.
Hey.
Nothing compares to a live recording. Then we reach Party in the USA. And I actually think, sir, I want to re-listen to the last 6 songs and do that as a part B to this, if you don't mind, because I didn't really give them enough thought.
Oh no?
Yeah, I would. Do you mind if we do that? Can we do it as like a 20-minute part B, like a event? We don't have to do it in this episode. We can do it for the like continuation of.
It can be the encore for this episode.
There we go. Because I did want to do that, but I literally wrote like a sentence. And I'm like, no, I should just listen to those 6 songs.
Sure.
Now, you know, and that's because you wrote a lot of shit. And I don't want to just be like, yeah, totally. Yeah. Like Pete Holmes.
I get it.
Yeah, totally. What is it? Stab me?
What?
Is that? I just think I could give those
Pete
more.
Holmes.
Just to preface that, I think I could give. I hate to come in unprepared to our own podcast, but
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Is it stab me? Stab _ me?
Slash.
Is it
backslash?
Bangers? With a Z, right?
Yeah.
SMS bangers?
Fucking bangers.
Fucking bangers. So this thing, I'm starting to sound like her.
I know, yeah.
This thing we call Party in the USA. I still hate this song. I can't fucking. I really hate to break everyone's heart. I can't fucking stand this song. I really can't. And you know why? It's for teenage girls. That's the market. That's what it's for.
That's what it was.
It's not for me, and that's okay. Not everything has to be for me.
Nope.
Not everything has to be for you. Not everything has to be for our friends. I do think she did a really cool job playing it live.
Yeah.
She varied it up. Some people hate live albums for this because they're like, just sing the song like it is. Going back to what I was saying earlier.
Sure.
I'm glad she didn't in this sense. She kind of said like, hey, yo, free Britney. You know, like you were saying, that's like, that made it a little more like for everybody, in my opinion, even though I still hate this song, as I said. Hate's a strong word, but I can't hold it back. But she definitely sang it better on this. So I'll close with my part with that before we kind of get to this conclusion of what to change. Would you change anything about this album?
No.
The before the little encore chunk, obviously.
Right.
You know?
No, I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. I would say this would be a disservice to change anything.
Yeah.
Because this show was definitely recorded in full. I'm not naive enough of a gatekeeper to say that I don't realize that live albums get recorded and they do nix a couple songs here and there. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like I know Newfound Glory did because shit malfunctioned during one song and they just cut it out.
Yeah.
But I can tell they didn't do that for this one because this has such a live show energy that never stops.
Yes.
And factoring in the banter and factoring in how they end Party in the USA with like the kind of thank you for everything and the big fills, and stuff. And even ending, was it after the climb, the like faux ending before their real encore is Wrecking Ball and Party in the USA. I think that, it is phenomenal. This live album and a live set list, there's there's no slowdown in it to me. There's a couple slower songs, but they're not enough to bring the vibe down.
Right.
I feel like some live albums that we're going to do, especially for bands that are from the 80s and stuff like that, they go into this like 6-song ballad, you know what I mean, of like section where everybody's falling asleep and now they have to like bring them up faster.
Yeah.
I.e. Def Leppard. You'll hear that long ass album one day, which is good. It's very good, but there is a stretch of, okay, we've done enough ballads. Can we get on with this now?
Right.
And it's about 25 minutes long of that, where I'm like, holy shit, this 2.5-hour epic is like the half hour is like slow songs that I'm falling asleep to.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. And I've seen them live and they do that. So
why though?
I don't know. This one doesn't have any slowdown. So I don't want to change it because I don't know if she's got slower country songs.
I'm sure she does.
Don't touch this. And
No.
don't touch this. 4x4, 4x4.
We're back at it.
She well, folks, 4x4 and away we go. No, don't touch this album. Just touch it to listen to. But
steal this album, but don't touch it.
And one last thing before we kind of put a bow on this one and eventually do the encore episode next. So you're big on album art, like I was.
Yep.
So for our uninformed listeners here that might be discovering live music, live albums from our podcast, which I really doubt, but you never know.
Hey, you never know.
The album cover.
Yep. The anal bum cover.
The anal bum covers. That's very true to this one.
Uh-huh.
This album cover is Miley Cyrus's ass.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of album covers. There's a couple album covers that do this, because there's female rap singers that tend to show ass on their album covers.
Yep.
This is unapologetic ass, I would say.
I agree.
That sounds like a band name. Ladies and gentlemen, unapologetic ass.
Woof.
Is that also like when you fart and you don't you don't
say
excuse me or pardon me or anything like that? You just rip one.
You just crop dust.
Yeah, you just fucking tear. You just
tear ass.
You just bust ass and
tear ass all over the galaxy.
That was unapologetic ass. Now I just thought of the movie Ready to Rumble with David Arquette. And, he's like trying to get his smoothie or whatever for free from the gas station or slushy. So he sticks his finger up his butt, like, and holds it. But he's like, smell this. And the cashier's smelling. He's like, what is it? He's like, it smells like my ass, right? And he's like, you've served me this, so I should at least get a free one. And he's like, yeah, you're right. It does smell like a beer sour ass.
Oh.
He's like, oh, I'll get you a new one ASAP.
Oh.
Anyways, the album cover looks like an unapologetic ass. Do you like it? Is it fitting?
The album?
The album cover, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think it works.
Because of because just got something texted to me that we're going to talk about off the record.
Okay. But yeah, it fits. It goes with the theme, and it goes with her style and with what her direction is, and no matter what that is,
Her rebelliousness.
It is the ideal for that moment in time.
It's the ideal of her also unequivocally going, sometimes I'm even surprised by this fucking shit I do. I think that that album cover does show a lot of potential there, kid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bangers of all ages.
Bangers.
Fucking bangers. This was our take on the bulk, I will say, or the actual core album, Attention Live by Miley Cyrus. I loved it. Miley, I'm a fan. Give us a shout. You can answer any questions we might have, because I think we have a few. We always do.
Might be one or two.
But thank you for joining us. You'll have to stick around. We are going to, right after this episode, eventually release a encore episode, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Of the 6 jams that she threw on there kind of under the radar after this had been released.
For the deluxe album, right?
Yeah, it's a deluxe one. Yeah. So that's something that we haven't experienced yet so far in the pod. So I think that it's probably wise to treat it like another album, or almost like a demo. But we'll call these encore, right? The encore episode. But stay tuned for that on Fuck It, We'll Do It Live.